Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel.
Yo, it's the new year and the Rocketeer is here.
Here.
What?
What's going on?
It's like if the Rocketeer was on like Power Rangers as one of those like putty guys.
This is a prop. This is actually a mold from the helmet from the movie. I got at San Diego Comic-Con in 1994.
Wow. Nice.
I almost was going to graduate high school that year.
Almost. If you didn't lose that duck pin, you would have probably graduated.
You were going to graduate high school that year?
I graduated in 95.
95. I think I was in, 94? Was I in 4th grade or 5th grade?
What's up, Justin?
Hey, should I put my cowboy hat on or does that look stupid?
I don't, you know,
definitely put that cowboy hat on.
We got a couple friends backstage. Let's bring them on. Let's see what their opinion is. We got JC Vaughn in the house. We got Aaron Lepresti. How we doing, gentlemen?
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I can't speak for JC, but I thank you for having me. He can.
You can thank him on my behalf. That works for me.
Yeah, we're both grateful to be here, Nile. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Glad to have you guys on.
JC is fresh back from looking for the guy who shot his paw.
That's actually one of my favorite dad jokes.
I found the man who shot my paw.
Dog walks into a bar with his arm in a sling, says, "I'm looking for the man who shot my paw."
Right. Good joke.
That's good, Jonah Hex. Yeah, Andrew Wilson, Happy New Year. We got William Quinton in the house. Devil Flyer, we're going to have him on Thursday. That's going to be fun. Nice. Justin Crawford, what's going on? Yeah, so it's a new year. I mean, you guys got to have some big plans and stuff going on. I was like, we got to do, me and Billy were talking about, can I just do like a Hangout stream? Just send the links out, whoever wants to pop in. Yeah. And let's talk about what's going on. 2020 was an interesting year. But I mean, we've so many new creators came into the scene.
You realize we're talking about 2021 and 2022 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got to tell you, I don't.
And
really
now we're
think,
in 2022.
You know, and I got to tell you, Nile, and maybe JC, you'll attest to this, but I really don't think that 2021 was the real year for the Pop XP.
You don't think?
I think 2022 is going to be the real year for the Pop XP.
Thank you.
1 year from now, 2023 is going to be the big year.
Aaron, did you see? Aaron, did you see 1941?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Dan Aykroyd when he was saying that.
I think it's Elliot. It's Robert Stack who said that.
Oh, was it Robert Stack who said it? Oh, okay.
1942 is going to be a really big year of the war.
Yeah. So listen to people like things have changed in a year, though. Aaron Lepresti was a legend, a year ago in comics, and then he decided to go INDIEGOGO, and all of a sudden he becomes a freaking rock star, supernova.
Yeah,
groupies, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and the world got to meet Miss Shelley Lepresti.
Yeah, well, my groupies are a little bit older than, say, if you were at a Kiss concert or something, but an old Kiss concert, not a current one.
I didn't know where that was going.
Yeah, I'm not sure I was knew where it was going either. No, it's been a pretty wild ride, that's for sure. The transition from mainstream to off the beaten path, but man, what a rewarding experience all in all. And looking back over it, there's nothing more exciting than being able to work on your own projects and then hanging out with guys that are doing the same thing, and everybody's got your back and you kind of support each other. And it's a great feeling. And instead of, kind of being cutthroat and trying to find your next job, you're sort of supporting everybody because you're doing your own thing, so you're not really in competition with anybody other than yourself, and how well you can promote yourself.
It's really true, Aaron. The whole thing about it, the number of times where, and my campaigns have been relatively small, but the number of times where somebody who else has a campaign going on supports mine and shares it to theirs, and that I've turned around and been able to do the same thing. It's really collegial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, because Aaron, I mean, look at this. I mean, you're approaching $120,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Wraith of God. And we've had you on. You were one of our first guests. Now you remember that when we was talking.
Yeah, I was actually looking back at that. He was like, "You're like one of our the first 20 guests, somewhere in that realm."
Yeah, I don't think I had hair though. I was still, it wasn't that long ago that I had hair, right? I was still,
So you had hair the first time you were on the Pop XP 3 years ago.
I don't think I
really
did.
got to get that firewall filter on Billy. Anyone can just pop into this stream.
Oh my gosh, talk about hair.
I know.
Anyone can just pop in. Wait,
let's keep the hairs together, right? Let's keep
we're
the
talking
hair
about we're talking about the T-Bear hair.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Well, no, wait a minute. No, there you go. Okay.
Well, we could go hair bald, hair bald, hair bald.
This is a very hairist approach.
It is. And the funny thing is that
I would like
only the guys follically challenged are wearing hats, and yet in the other. But
you said I looked like a little kid when I had my cowboy hat on in the pre-show, with my Australian bush hat.
Go with the youth movement. Anything that makes you look younger is a good thing.
Put that back on. Let's see
put my hat back on.
Yeah, put that back on.
All right, Billy. Here's the deal. Okay.
Well,
it's a very nice.
Now you look like a hipster or something.
No, either a hipster or a hick, one or the other.
There we go.
But in all seriousness, Billy, as an Australian bush hat, that looks very nice.
Thank you.
When you say it's a cowboy hat, you look like a little kid.
Yeah, no, it's an Australian bush hat.
It's perception.
Because to paraphrase a famous Australian, that's not a hat. This is a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger is better. Yeah.
And that's not a gun, Aaron, is it?
Huh?
And that's not a gun, is it, Aaron?
Are you talking about my fake Peacemaker?
That's a Wyatt Earp gun.
Look at the barrel on this thing, man. This is a
barrel. That's Wyatt Earp's gun.
This is a Wraith of God special, is what this is.
Jeez.
Hear that sound?
Nice. It sounds real. I'm just gonna say.
I was hoping that you could pull this little knob out here and this would flip out, but no, it doesn't. So you couldn't get anything in there even if you wanted to.
Can you eject the shells? The little spring work to eject the shells is like a little flip up, like.
Aaron says it's fake, but that's because he lives in Oregon.
Yeah, this little thing here. See that?
No.
Aaron, see that little thing? Can you flip that down and eject the shell? You see, you got your little.
Oh, hey, it does.
Yeah, see, he's got to have him do that when he's.
It is real.
I didn't even know that. Look at that.
No, it's not hard.
I get shot.
You know what's real? This drum solo we're about to get.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What?
Hey,
now see, I'm not here to plug anything, but I got these from. I don't know where you got yours from.
Too late for that.
From Denix, is who produced the two guns I've got, and they've got like pirate guns.
Oh yeah.
And look at this, they got swords and crap. I want to order everything in this catalog. Look at this. You got like an axe. Cool. Look at that.
Dude, you can have that at your booth.
Wait, is that an axe on that gun?
Where?
Oh,
no,
there's a gun with an axe.
It looked
like. Oh! You mean that right there?
Yeah. What is?
That's a
trigger on it.
Yeah, it's a musket axe.
That's a German 17th century axe pistol. You're right. That's what that is.
Of course,
man, I need to call somebody and ask him a question about that gun.
Oh, hey!
But I don't know if Aaron should get that axe because Shelly will have that at the conventions.
That's the
thing.
If
somebody comes around, start talking some smack,
she'll lay the axe down. She'll lay the axe down on the wood, and it'll be game over. So
I respect that.
Yeah.
The people in the chat are talking about it's going to be an Alec Baldwin gun.
Yeah, no. Now that Billy's informed me that this thing flips down, which I just didn't even know it did.
Yeah, that's how you eject your shells.
Oh.
Yeah, your real bullets that you put in your real gun.
your fake bullets.
But shouldn't this little knob right there?
Can we go large with that now? Oh, I can do that too.
See that right there?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that pull out and then
it should,
but it doesn't. So I can't really. technically.
I think, guys, I think we should just take Aaron's word.
Well, you load them up from the back too. You see that there's a little. Okay, look, show the back of the gun. Yeah, flip that. No, the other way. Yeah, see, that's where you load your shells in that. Okay. You load your bullets in there.
It's a real gun.
No, it isn't.
It's such a real gun.
No, it isn't.
That's definitely a real gun.
No,
that Aaron thought he was buying a fake gun, but got a real gun.
They're like, hey, fake gun now with real bullet shooting action.
That thing only costs $60. That's not a real gun.
I can see where Dr. Blevins and everybody would think it was a real gun, but he's in Oregon. It couldn't.
It sounds
be
like a real gun. That's all I'm saying.
There's cops at my door right now. They've saw the live stream.
It's only because I called them.
So basically, you could burn an entire city down for 500 nights in a row in Oregon, but
that's fine. Yeah, no one cares.
Hold a fake gun. Isn't that wonderful?
You're out the door. Fake gun.
A fake.
A fake. No, it's fake. I'm telling you.
You know, there's going to be an accident at the Lepresti house.
Yeah, there is.
Jeez.
Look at this. Mob Seed says Aaron has the
next week.
In the comic book business, this is what we call foreshadowing.
No. Mob Seed says Aaron has the firearm skills of Elmer Fudd, and he's exactly right.
Are you gonna go rabbit hunting?
Yeah, which season is it right
season?
Now, dude, check this out. Now,
Rabbit
this is a
It's
cool
duck
one
season
too.
and rabbit season. Oh, look at that. Coach gun.
Yeah, this guy, I didn't realize these things had 2 triggers.
Yeah.
Double barrel.
You can shoot them both at the same time if you want.
Well,
so
see,
this is all from that. Where did you get these from?
Dennis.
Dennis.
A guy on the street.
Dennis. Oh, Dennis.
Dennis.
The guy with the
we got a
1991
Dennis, too. He's down
Camry.
on 53rd
Dennis, but look
Street.
at, I mean, come on. This was like $50. I mean, that's pretty nice for $50,
Yeah,
right?
wood or is it plastic?
Huh? No, it's wood.
Wow, that's
Wood
nice.
and metal. This sucker is heavy.
NX replica.
So
gun?
basically,
You know why? Because it's a real gun.
It is.
it's a real gun.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they made it exactly as
No.
a real gun.
It's
with
called a
wood metal.
replica, you bonehead. No, see,
Just like those replica
it's a
swords
cap
in the
gun. Look, it's a cap gun. You put the caps right
No, that's
there.
a percussion cap. Aaron,
Yeah,
that's
you
a
can bust a
percussion
cap
cap.
at somebody.
You put
Yeah.
the percussion cap there, and then that's what fires off the shell. You put little caps in there, little percussion cap.
Oh, really?
I got a box of them. I can show you. Yeah, and you put that in there, and then that'll make a big loud noise, even without a bullet, without a shell in it.
So I think we're all figuring out how to buy illegal guns through the mail.
I like
It's
Mob-
called Dennis.
Phoenix is where you want to go if you want to get one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the sword, but Aaron, the swords are fake, right?
I'll order one and find out. We'll see if it's plastic or something.
My favorite thing when you look at employee manuals or student manuals at schools, if there's a stupid rule in there, you know somebody has done something dumb.
Yes, right.
My favorite thing in my junior college, so this is like 100 years ago, was no swords on campus.
Oh my gosh!
And it could never be as good as what I've imagined.
No swords on campus. Wow. Look
Hey,
at
now, how much
these.
is that M1 Garand right there? The one in the middle on the right.
Right
there.
here?
How much is that? Yeah.
$296.
Wow, that's a great price.
Well,
That's a British. So it's actually like more than that, right?
No,
Or
that's
is that-
an M1 Garand. That's an M1
Yeah,
Garand.
but it's
The price.
currency.
The price
That's
is
euros.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to know why it's so expensive? Art, tell them why it's so expensive.
because it's real.
No, I don't know if it's this company, but another company I looked at, they actually do real guns, but that look like,
They look like
Old
fake
style
guns,
guns, right?
Not sure.
and those are like,
Ships.
$1,200, $1,500, $2,000. That's how I knew that what I was getting wasn't real.
It looks like a squirt gun, but it's actually a 44 Magnum.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Oh,
exactly
shit,
what
there's
it
a
is.
catapult. How big's the catapult?
Oh my gosh, look at that. What if it was life size?
Oh, could my
that's
car
cute.
tow that?
It's a little mini pewter thing. Look,
Oh, that would be
14
fun.
Yeah.
14
I used to use
centimeters.
those to launch a
You know,
butter
I
across
had a
the
neighbor in California that would have been perfect for. Just start heaving rocks at his house.
You ever see the Michael Nesmith sketch Neighborhood Nuclear Superiority?
No.
I've had a few
Michael
neighbors.
Nesmith, the monkey?
Yeah. He on his album that won the video Grammy. The first video Grammy was called Elephant Parts. There's a sketch called Neighborhood Nuclear Superiority. It's about the nuclear weapons that attach to your garden hose.
Oh,
and it's spectacular.
And
the idea of having a catapult is now a close second for somebody.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have great dreams tonight of just like shooting rocks over at my ex-neighbor in California's house.
There you go.
Well, remember there was a show on, I can't remember what channel it was on, but they would just like, they go to this contest where they would launch pumpkins.
Yeah.
And people would build their own trebuchets or whatever, and just see how far they could launch these giant pumpkins. It was
that
awesome.
on like the History Channel where they would build like authentic trebuchets and launchers and stuff.
Yep. And they just launch their pumpkins. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
who has time for that?
Video
shit?
of the woman hits herself in the face with the pumpkin.
Flies down and flies back and hits her in the face. Rough.
You know what we used to have, like when you're kids and you find certain things, you just abuse them, right? My friend got a hold of surgical rubber tubing, right? So we made a giant 3-man slingshot out of this thing. So we tied like a wooden broom handle to each one of the rubber, hoses, and then we had like a gallon like plastic jug, like milk jug on the back, and so 2 would hold it out. One would pull it back, and we would actually just egg people's houses from blocks away. We used to send out like 6 eggs at one time and just like egg. And I remember I was just such a punk as a kid. I remember going to school one day, and my friend came out. He's like, "Man, I'm sorry I'm late." He's talking to the teacher. "I'm sorry I'm late. I had to hose off the egg on the back of my house." He's like, "Who eggs the back of your house?" And I'm like, "This dude."
From 3 blocks over.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then my brother and his little punk friends, they were younger than us. So there's always the guys that don't know how to do it properly. So they shot some eggs at a car, and actually just the blunt force of the eggs coming at it and the movement of the car, they cracked the windshield. And,
no kidding.
And that guy came after him, and they got in trouble. And then we got the slingshot taken away from us. Thanks, Tony, my brother.
Not going to mention his name, but
that kind of something like that happened to me in South Carolina with lawn darts. We had lawn darts. I don't know if you remember those back in the day. Like one of the kids down the street, when you go look online, he got hit in the head with one of the lawn darts.
Oh,
and
I'm like, did you not read the instruction? It said don't throw it up and run underneath it, but nobody cared.
like the ones with the points on them.
Yeah, real darts.
Holy crap.
This is like circa 1983 or whatever, 82, 83.
I don't think they probably sell those anymore.
No,
they do sell them, but they have plastic tips. They have no weight to.
Oh, there she is.
No.
All right, here we go. You ready? I won't do any sound. All right, Nile, you ready?
God.
Oh my!
Wow! Hang on. Let me try again. Let me do like.
Like, I'm surprised she didn't die.
How did that not kill her?
I know.
Well, are those like those little watermelons?
Yeah.
Nile, I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna use the bell.
You gonna use the bell? There needs to be like an aftermath episode on this. Like, what actually happened to her face?
Oh my gosh! That
She
had
was perfectly fine.
If
that
that was,
had to have broken her nose.
if that was any more
Nothing
of a
happened
direct
to her.
angle,
She was perfectly fine.
That's no
any
fun.
more of a direct angle, it would have killed her.
Yeah.
Well, it's like it's perfectly fine. Happens all the time.
Yeah, you're on the side of the
He's
face.
chucking
Nothing to
watermelons at
see
the
here.
neighborhood kids.
Oh my god!
They made her go back and finish that challenge. Like, she had to finish it for them to
You watched
press
that
on.
episode?
That chick is tough, man. She's tougher than any of us.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh! I wouldn't take that.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I wonder if she'll
There's
still
a commercial
eat
for the
watermelon.
Amazing Race after it. That wasn't on the Amazing Race.
Yeah, it was definitely the Amazing Race.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I got to ask Elise about that. You hit a woman in the face.
You know that person, don't you?
didn't even know that.
You know this man.
You know this man.
Billy knows the creator of that game show.
Yes. It's not a game
wonder
show.
how
It's a
fast that
10-time
melon-
Emmy Award-winning reality show, Nile Scout.
Reality game show.
Yeah, I wonder how fast that melon came back at her. That thing
You know,
was moving fast.
that isn't. If Shelly was here, I'd get her working on the math for that because she could probably figure that out for us.
Well, that was.
Make it
I mean,
so.
it was-
I want to hear that
it
like
wasn't-
marker on the dry erase board, like.
Yeah, if it had been direct, it probably would have really done some damage. But you're looking at like it came out and then the thing twisted and it had the propulsion from the front way coming back, so it wasn't.
Oh, wasn't as
It was
hard.
it was enough to smash it, but again, like I said, she was
Enough to
fine.
probably hurt like a son of a bitch.
That
yeah.
truly is a John Cougar melon head.
Like she's having a nightmare right now about it. Right now,
I
You know,
can't
but
believe that was on The Amazing Race. I'm gonna call her tomorrow. I'm like, wait a minute, I just saw this.
Call her tonight and get her on the show.
Yeah.
I think she'll come on the show if she's not traveling.
If her face wasn't, harmed to
No, not this girl, Elise, my friend who created the show.
Oh, okay.
The producer and the creator of it.
Lord
anyway,
Ravner. Sadly, that wasn't in the top 5 impacts she's taken to her face.
Oh,
No.
That's
Oh,
terrible.
no.
Oh, come on, Lord.
no,
Raven.
no,
Am I the only one that found that funny?
Oh. I'm laughing inside.
What was the worst thing that ever happened to you guys in your childhood as far as like stupid things happening, like falling out of trees or, having get hit with a baseball bat or stuff like that?
Yeah, I catching for my childhood next door neighbor's pitching practice, and he was a much better athlete than me, but he wasn't an accurate pitcher, and I just wasn't that quick with the glove. I actually eventually liked playing catcher and was good at it strategically, but just really got like smacked right here on my glasses, broke them.
Yeah, you gotta have a good arm to hit that second base target when somebody's stealing.
Like little league or sandlot kind of bases. I actually could have done that. I never could have done it at a higher level than that.
Yeah,
I did it. Adult stuff. I did it in softball and stuff, and I loved it. And which is like perfect because I've got lousy knees.
Art, didn't you get hit by a car or a motorcycle or something?
Yeah, I got hit by a motorcycle, but as a kid, man, I was playing Tarzan in a neighbor's tree, and I fell out of that tree, and I straddled. I fell like right on a cinder block fence. I must have fell about 10 feet on this thing, and then kind of just rolled off the fence. And then I guess I don't really remember just the pain, but my friend was just screaming like, what's wrong? And so then I guess my friend's dad, his name's Gil Martin, he comes out, no hesitation. I love dudes like this. He must have saw it from the window. He grabbed me and then he just kept shaking me because my nuts were kind of knocked up into my body.
That's fatherly instinct. There.
That's
You know that you gotta shake your nuts back down.
He's just like, and I'm like, what's going on?
Trying to get your nuts down.
You're like, stop. And all of a sudden, thanks.
I guess it's better than going and grabbing for him, but
Holy crap! He noticed your nuts and your pickle all the way up in your.
he knew exactly what happened, man.
It's like his nuts are at his belly button. I gotta work these down.
Oh my god! How about you, Nile?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember that, like the first time we bought snowmobiles, me and my sister were going through the woods and stuff, and I flew off a rock, and it launched me off the snowmobile. I fell, and then she just ran right over me and passed me down into like 3 feet of snow, and I was stuck in the snow. Freaking, they're like yelling for me, and I'm like, and I'm stuck in like.
That's sort of
crazy.
spectacular.
Yeah, thank God there was like 4 feet of snow. This is up in upstate New York.
The best thing is when you see your friends flying off their bikes and stuff, they just kind of ragdoll in the air.
Oh yeah. We had built a jump ramp on our street, and my brother came and we lived at the base of a hill, and it was really good and steep. Like when it snowed, it was wonderful. We had a jump ramp set it up on the flat portion, and my brother comes flying down on his bicycle and goes off the jump ramp and the older kids are playing Frisbee down the street. And with his back tire, he takes the Frisbee out of the air, lands on it, and slides to a stop like 40 feet later. It's just absolutely amazing. He did like 30 feet, 3 1/4 inches. I spray painted it on the street. It was there for forever while we lived there. And so he wanted to beat that record.
It's crazy.
And he comes flying down, and he hits the ramp wrong.
Oh no!
And he had the smarts to let go of the bike, because even though he tumbled onto the street, which wasn't extremely pleasant, the bike went end over end like 4 times.
Evil Knievel style.
Oh man,
Caesar's Palace.
It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Like you never let go of your bike.
Broken.
I got a baseball bat to the nose because I was standing behind. I was in the on deck circle, but we were like 2nd or 3rd grade, right? And I was talking to somebody, not paying attention. I got too close to the guy who was batting, and he just ripped the swing and just. I mean, blood was everywhere, but it didn't break my nose, which was amazing to me. But that was kind of fun. And my brother, we were sword fighting with wires. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Damn me right in the eye, but the white of the eye, thank God, or I'd be, I'd have a pirate gun and a pirate patch to cover it.
How about you, Billy?
I'm trying to think. Now it's how I got hurt.
You're trying to eliminate choices, aren't you, Billy?
I know. I'm trying to think. I got hit. Someone took a swing with the baseball bat and hit me in the throat.
Oh,
landed right in my throat. But I'm trying to think of what other. Jeez.
I like that we're all mentioning baseball and not like football or hockey. You jacked up in playing baseball of all things.
I know.
Yeah, I don't have very many computer injuries as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
My fingers got really sore one day because I was typing so much.
I stretched it too far trying to hit the delete button.
Yeah. I did get a Charlie horse while playing water polo. My butler had to drag me out. It was so embarrassing.
Crazy.
I remember a time where we would we had a creek, and you would follow the creek, which interestingly enough is still there where I grew up. And we were walking, and we went into another part of town or something, and there was bigger kids than us. And my friend Dennis and we ended up getting in a fight with them. And they were like, we were probably like in 7th grade, and they're probably like 9th, 10th graders. And they were just like, you kids, and we're like, F you, fuck you. And we ended up getting a fight with them. We had a fight, and the 2 of them picked me up, and they threatened to throw me into the creek like this, swinging 1, 2, like that. And at the last minute, they stopped, and they're like, we're just fucking with you, kid. And they laid me down, but they laid me down like broken glass. And I had to and a rattlesnake. And then I ran home. My friend Dennis, I ran in a creek which led to his house, and his mother was there, and his mother was born in Germany. He's first generation German. It's like, no, in German stuff. And then she fixes, takes the glass out. I still have the scar on my back from it. Takes the glass out, dresses it, and then she starts beating the shit out of me because we got into a fight because Dennis was telling her what we did. and then I went home. And then I went home, and I got another story too. And then I go home, and she calls my mother. My mother beats the shit out of me again. It's a fight with these kids.
I knew that when you started, you would not be able to stop at how different ways.
That's what he's just going to come up with more and more.
I got one more. So I think I told this I definitely told it on the Pop XP. I might have told it on the Bros that there was a house near us that burned down, and a little boy died in the house. And actually they live next door to my brother-in-law, my sister's husband now. And the rumor was that the boy ran back into this house. The house was destroyed, completely destroyed. I would think we were in 2nd grade, summer 2nd or 3rd grade or something like that. And the boy, they say that the boy got out of the house, but then his dog was trapped inside and ran back in his house to try to save his dog, and they both died.
So
horrible. The rumor is that they took the boy's body out, but the dog was still in the house. So me again and my friend Dennis, we decide we're going to go find that dog, and we go in the house. And we're in the house, and I don't come home for lunch. Forgive me if I told you this, anybody out there, but so we're in the house, and all of a sudden I miss lunch, and my sister, who's probably, 14, babysitting us at the time or whatever, she freaks out because I didn't come home for lunch. someone did try to steal my brother Philip one time, and she caught him when he was like 3 years old. There was a guy that pulled in front of the house, and he had his door open. He's like, come here. My little brother comes walking up, and my sister comes running out of the house screaming. The guy slams the door and drives off. So he would have been an RT Bear victim there. So
Wow.
no, not that Art does that, but you're serial killer.
I used to do it.
Yeah.
Like you gave it up for
so
pick up drumming.
The kids are all looking for me, and this one girl, Lucille, pulls up on her bike, and she's like, Billy, the cops are at your house. Everyone's looking for you. I'm like, oh my God. So I get on the back of her bike. I don't know why I didn't jump on my bike. And she races me home, and there's like 2 or 3 cop cars in front of my house. I walk into my house, and there's my mother, and my mother proceeds to beat the living shit out of me in front of the cops in my living room. Like beaten like I've never been beaten in my life like this.
The cops are holding you down, probably.
No, the cops are standing there. All of a sudden, so I'm
you
crying,
deserve it, kid.
The cop takes me up to my bedroom, and he sits me on my chair, and I'm like, I think I had a welt on my head, like a head on my like that. And he's like,
Jesus.
Billy, he's like, I hope you know why your mother hit you. And he's like, she hit you because she loves you, and she was worried about you.
She loves
the cop
you
is
so
like,
much.
you should have stayed missing, kid.
Yeah.
You should have stayed missing.
I have a story. It involves a parent as well. So I played baseball, all the way up to high school, and then there was a thing called Senior League, which was actually professional size base paths. So it was bigger playing fields, and so I was on first base, and I knew you always have that potential that you can get hit into a double play, right? So you always want to be pretty quick to get onto that second base. So I'm running. It's definitely just like a textbook double play scenario, but I'm like, we got to win this game. So I knew that I was going to be sacrificed, but I was hoping that the guy would, make it on first base. So what we would do, and this is when we had steel cleats, I ran, and I instead of jumping at the base feet first, I jumped at the guy, the second baseman. So I kicked up my best karate kick, and I went feet first right at his face, right? And so what ended up happening is I jumped up so high, like say this is my foot. I ended up doing one of these in the air and say this is my head. I came down right on my head, like boom, right? And I knocked myself clean out. They had to carry me off the field, right? I didn't even finish the game. And so all I remember is like waking up in the back of my dad's pickup truck, and then my dad like, "Oh, you're awake." And I'm like, "Yeah, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, well, you did something stupid. You knocked yourself out." And I said, "So did we win?" He goes, "Yeah, we won." And I said, "So you've been here all the time?" He goes, "Yeah, I wasn't going to miss the game." He just took my unconscious body and just laid it out in the back of the truck. And my dad watched the rest of the game.
Dude, those are the good old days, right? Rub a little dirt on it. You'll be fine. You don't need to go to the doctor.
Little Windex on it.
Or just throw your kid in the back of a truck.
Dang, Blevins, I think above you have the bad news RT Bears.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Whoa. The bad news RT Bears. Yeah, these stories are absolutely making me want to go cry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad we decided to have this fun stream, guys.
I don't even know what the topic is.
Our brother's almost getting stolen from.
I like the
as a
I like
kid,
Mobbeat's latest comment.
The cops loaned Billy's mom their nightstick.
Yeah, it's like it was probably like a scene from Airplane, right? They're all just lined up taking turns beating the crap out of Billy.
Yeah. She beat the piss out of me, and we had a razor strap, but she might have hit me with the razor. I don't think she hit me with the razor strap that time, but it was tough.
I'll tell you, my dad never hit us out of anger, so it was always like corporal punishment, right?
Out of joy.
Go to my room, think about.
Wait, our dad never hit us out of anger. Only for enjoyment.
Yeah, he gave me
when he had his favorite soda pop.
Right. Yeah. And then my mom was like in the heat of the moment. Like I think most moms are like this. Like they'll beat you worse than your dad's.
Oh yeah.
Like my mom used to just flip out. And so I remember my brother and I did something to piss her off. And so the only weapon she could find was a Hot Wheel track. And so she's running around the house.
God.
Oh yeah.
With a hollow track, like it's a whip, right? And my brother and I, we're just crazy. We're laughing our ass off because she's just losing her mind, right? And so we're just laughing. She's running around the house. And I know that we had the thought, like, let's just run outside and we'll be safe, right? But we knew if we ran outside and made this the neighbor's business, it would have been far worse. So we're just running around the inside of the house in circles while my mom's just
Oh, I got one. If I may, I'll be quiet. I promise. So me and my two brothers shared a bedroom. My mother's like, come up. My mother comes up. Your room is disgusting mess. Clean it. And she gives us like these big trash bags, to clean up and everything. So we clean, but we're cursing. We call each other fucking assholes. And like, you curse one more time, I want to come in there and beat the shit out of you, So all of a sudden, my one brother says something, to my other brother, like, F you. And I hear my mother come running up the stairs.
He said that to your mom?
Yeah, no, to each other, but she just heard us.
Oh, okay.
So now, Jeff, you met my mother. My mother's like 5'10", 5'9", at least 5'9", my mother is. And so what do? Is I hear her come running up the stairs, and I dive into one of the garbage bags, the big black bags, and I just lay down, and all I hear is a door slam open, like they're trying to hold it closed. She slams the door open, and I just hear her proceeding to beat the shit out of them with the razor strap, and it's the most terrifying thing I've heard in my life. And it just banging, screaming. I thought she was murdering them, and I'm laying down.
You're hiding in the garbage bag.
I didn't get to see the leap. I go. Yeah.
Billy's trying not to make a sound because he knows he's dead.
And she's just beating the shit. Where's your brother? And they were all crying. She went down looking for me then, like she thought I went like in my room, like because I was always getting away. I jumped out of the roof. If I did out my underwear when she come after us. Oh my god.
My mom, we were teenagers, and my mom we had gotten on our last nerve. And my brother is laying on his bed in his room reading, and I'm laying on my bed in my room reading. And all of a sudden, he starts making sound effects like I'm hitting him, and starts yelling at me to stop.
Oh no!
And he's making making punch sounds and doing everything. And my mom starts yelling. Now she hasn't come in yet from where she was in the house. She's just pissed off. So I get up, I walk in my brother's room, and I punch him.
She actually did hit it.
And I said, if I'm going to get in trouble for it, you're going to get it. You didn't do that anymore.
You're going to earn that punishment.
That's right.
Look at this evil one. This is true.
I heard stories from my friend when Billy's mom was at a convention screaming at him. It made everyone look at the con.
Oh, yeah. She's like, why Billy? I'm like, Mom, what the hell is this doing here? I'm like, where's my water?
This is true.
Like, where's my sushi? No, I didn't say.
And then the security guards sit you down like, this is why your mother was hitting you, Billy.
Yeah. It's like the same guy.
It's the same guy retired.
Yeah.
And now it's security.
He's retired doing security.
I have video from 1996, my mother yelling at me at San Diego.
Oh
like,
my
"Thanks,
gosh,
Chip."
that is so funny.
Yeah, but did all your parents don't have that one item though? Like my dad's was the belt. And like he would snap it. And you knew like you need to shut the fuck up or you were getting it.
Yeah.
My mom, it depended. It was the Hot Wheel track took me back. I'll tell you that. The other thing was I can remember being really little, like 10, less than 10, definitely less than 10, probably like 8. And my mom getting after my brother and me with a hairbrush when we were wearing swimsuits.
Ouch.
And it was because we were jumping, it was in a hotel. So what do you do in a hotel? You jump from bed to bed like you can't at home.
Right.
Yeah.
My mother had enough of that.
My mom was never the one who beat the crap out of us. That was my dad did that.
Yeah, absolutely. If my mom, it was purely of the moment.
Yeah, that's how mine.
The serious thing was dad.
Yeah.
Well, my mom was the one who got the lectures, right? And the funny thing about my mom is, now she's still with me. She's 90 and she lives with us, but she was a big fan of fantasy films, right? So my dad hated movies. So basically from when I was old enough to drive, whenever I went and saw a Star Trek film or whatever, I'd take my mom, right? Because she wanted to go. But she would always, and I swear this is the truth, I'd be sitting next to her, and if somebody swore in the film, she'd look at me like I wrote it, and it was like every time. And I would finally go, Mom, okay, for example, what was the movie that Abrams did that was kind of like a Spielberg, a tribute to Spielberg, the Alien film?
Super 8.
No, Super 8. Super 8.
Oh, that was
or 8 millimeter.
8 millimeter. Yeah, that was
it was called Super 8.
Yeah, it was 8 millimeter, whatever it was, Super 8 or yeah. So we're in that film, right? And there's these kids, and they're swearing in this film, and she's just looking over at me like, and I'm like, Mom, I literally was like, we're in the theater. I'm going, what are you looking at me for? I didn't write this stupid thing, and people are laughing around us. And so the topper to this is, she's, like I said, she's 90. So she was in her 80s. She was living with us in her mid to late 80s. And the Mad Max movie comes out, Thunder Road, right? And my brother wanted to go see it. He was here visiting. And I said, Mom, we're going to go see the Mad Max Thunder Road. She's like, oh, I'd like to go see that. And I went, well, time out. I said, you understand this is an R-rated film, right? I said, do you even know what Mad Max is? And she goes, to my surprise, she's like, yeah, that was the movie with Mel Gibson, and it was the end of the world type stuff. And I'm like, when did you see that? She must have watched it with me like on Cinemax or something, right, years ago when it was on. So she wants to go see this movie with us. So we take her to the movie, and I told her, I said, this is an R-rated film. I don't want to hear a word out of you. Okay, I didn't write this film, nor did I direct it, so I want no abuse from you. So we're sitting there, and the only thing she said the whole movie, right? You know the part, you guys have all seen it, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the part where they had all the large women getting milked with the milk machines?
Yeah.
It's totally quiet. People are like, in the theater, and my mom just goes, when that scene comes on, she says, oh, for crying out loud. Like, and after the movie, I'm just like, that was the only thing she said the entire movie. And I asked her after the movie what she thought. And she goes, oh, I thought it was pretty good. I could have done without the milking scene, though. Oh. But hey, you take your 80-year-old mom to R-rated movies, I guess you're going to get a little bit of a...
They all can't be winners.
No.
But Aaron, they're always your parents, right? Yeah. They're always your parents. You can't get around
that happened to me with Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, which I thought was weird. Like I had just moved to New Mexico with my dad and my brother, and we were staying in a hotel while we were waiting to get the house set up for us to move in, because we had to wait like 3 weeks before it was ready. And we bought Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and I thought it was funny. I died laughing the whole time. But then there's the scene where Jim Carrey and Courtney Cox, have a sex scene, which doesn't show anything, but it's
Mighty jungle.
And my dad was like, nope. Turned it off.
Well, that's good, because that end would have freaked them out with the crying game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Girlfriend's got a wiener.
Oh.
It's not a wiener. It is
a wiener. Yeah. My dad, I forget the movie. It was George C. Scott. This was years and years ago. And so my dad, one of the rare occasions we went to the movie theater, very rarely happened. And it was about dolphins. And like these dolphins could talk or something like that.
Day of the
Dolphins. Day of the Dolphins.
Day of the Dolphins. Yeah. Pa love pa or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess there was some cursing or something in that movie. And I just kind of see, because when your parents, the tension would happen, you could feel it as a kid. Like you didn't even have to see them. You knew, like, they're just their body language and everything. And so I just see my dad get more and more uncomfortable with that movie. And then finally he goes, "We're going." He just got up and we all followed him out of the movie theater. All the little T-bears, you know.
I mean, none of them got their fish that night.
I mean, try taking your mom and your grandma to see Showgirls. Talk about awkward.
No.
Never doing that again.
What?
Oh, my mom would say
Mother's Day for the record books.
My mom was like, "This movie's horrible." No,
this is
I didn't take her
good
to
topic.
see that.
Have you guys ever walked out of a movie?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never. Yeah. But I've wanted to twice. Star Trek 5 and Superman 4.
Close. A friend of mine worked at the theater at our local mall at the end, toward the end of high school, and I walked out of Superman 3, and I didn't even pay for it.
Wow.
Dang.
Superman 3 at least had some moments. Superman 4 was horrific.
I walked out of
I truthfully have never done Superman 4 in one sitting.
Lord Ravner, thanks for the super chat. Loving these stories.
Cool. Thank you. Hey, can I share something real quick? Let me just share this.
Is there a way to stop you?
That's what my mother was hit us for.
Holy smokes!
That buckle, that had the buckle in it. That's what my mother would hit us with.
Oh my gosh,
that's hardcore, man. That's
man.
Billy.
Son of a bitch.
Billy, I think you may want to consider some therapy.
Yeah.
That's like a Scorsese film, man.
That's why he will never grow. That's why he doesn't grow a beard.
My father, you know, that's how he shaved with the straight razor, the old school, you know, and he
wow.
Oh yeah.
And your mom hated that strap, so she used it against you guys.
She took that on you.
That's crazy. Now, I've never walked out of movies, but if the movie's bad, I just go to sleep.
You know what? There's a movie I almost walked out of, and I was fortunate enough. I had a friend works in Hollywood, and he worked on RoboCop, so we got to see like a private screening kind of thing. And it's a scene where they're just kind of he's still the cop, and it's what leads up to the whole like RoboCop, you know. So he's getting shot, he's just getting jacked up. And that scene goes on maybe a second too long.
You're talking about the original one where they shoot his arms off and stuff.
Yeah, it was really violent, man.
Brutal.
It was like they were just dismantling this guy and stuff like that. And I was just about to get up when the scene changed, and I was like, okay. And you know what? I'm glad I did, because I dug that movie. I thought
That's
it was
a great movie.
Freaking awesome. But that scene was hard to deal with.
Literally, before we came on, I've been making my way back through season 5 of 24, and Peter Weller is in that. And you know, I can't see Peter Weller and not think your move, creep. But
your move, creep.
I thought it was really cool because I actually remembered something, which is rare enough these days. But the company,
put your hat on, Billy.
The company that Peter Weller's character worked for,
there you go,
in 24 was Omicron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
I just saw this documentary on the making of RoboCop. They said that armor, that suit that he wore, that Peter Weller wore in that, it was 90 pounds.
Yeah.
90 pounds.
That's a lot. That's a lot of weight to be hauling around, man.
Oh yeah.
So, did you guys ever go to a movie that was so disgusting that you almost puked in the movie?
Yes.
Well, if I can say about walking out of a mill, I did once. It wasn't my idea. In '94, Debbie and I broken up for a little while, and I ended up getting reacquainting with my ex-girlfriend before Debbie. Jeff, you met her, and she was really sweet and just awesome. But she was Greek and Greek Orthodox, and she was, you know, religious. She didn't like. And when when Samuel Jackson did that speech, you know, and I will rain down you with great honor and furious anger, you know, whatever. And then, you know, he quotes the Bible, then shoots those kids, right? You know, he shoots everybody. And she just turns like this and she goes, I can't believe you took me to this fucking movie. And she just gets up and she goes, and I'm like,
time to get back with Debbie.
You go to the payphone. Hey, Dad.
Yeah. So
you like movies like
man?
this?
I like to think I have a pretty tough stomach for sure. But I tell you, like one of the the only times that I've ever gotten sick in a movie was in Jackass. I don't know if you guys remember Jackass, the movie. And I watched it on MTV all the time. Never had a problem with all the stupid stunts they did. But the yellow snow scene got me really bad. And it was definitely clean up on aisle 7.
Why? What was the scene?
We used to. I don't want to hear anymore because you're going to make me sick. I can see where this is going, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I just said the descriptor I said, and that was it.
When I was 14, I think, Dawn of the Dead came out, like the original, right? And we used to pride ourselves in kind of going to see like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all the, what's the most horrific film we can go see? Well, I went with a friend of mine. We went to Dawn of the Dead, and there's a scene in the very beginning where they're like in the projects or something. Yeah. And this guy walks in, and this woman's like, "Oh, honey," and he walks up and he just takes a bite right out of her trapeze right here and just tears it off. And I was like, I mean, I was that close.
What age were you?
I was 14.
Yeah, you know what's great about that is it's just frame of reference, because on our local news at night growing up in Pittsburgh, they were showing the making of that movie.
Oh, yeah, that's where we shot that stuff.
And so we knew that, like, when they were pulling somebody's insides out, it was chocolate cake.
Yeah, well, but the funny thing is that really disgusting scene. There's that really disgusting scene in the mall where they get one of the bikers down and they rip him open and just start pulling his innards out and stuff.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
By that time, you're so desensitized, it didn't even bother me. But that opening scene was so disgusting. But by the time I got to that, I was like, it's macaroni and cheese. I
totally get that. I had something working for me that you didn't, and that was when we were watching that, my mom comes in and goes, "Oh, that's gross." And of course that was an endorsement.
Well, I know Art's seen this.
Dawn of the Dead is so formative for me. I mean, my thing, Zombie Proof, it's my love letter to Romero. I mean, when I moved to Texas, there was a mall called Forum 303 in Arlington, Texas, and it's where they shot a lot of the interiors for the city for Logan's Run.
Okay. And
so it was really modern once upon a time. And they had a movie theater there that was a multiplex, and one of the things they showed was Rocky Horror on their Friday and Saturday night midnight movies. Well, in the next theater was Dawn of the Dead. So one summer I saw it 19 times.
Wow.
I've seen it a few, but not that many.
Not 19 times.
And we actually turned it into an audience participation movie like Rocky Horror. Like
the same crowd came over.
When they're in Sears and they're running by and you think it's a mannequin, and then the zombie tackles the guy and he jams the screwdriver into his ear.
Mm-hmm.
We sing out like it's Stanley, "We want to help you do things right."
Well, have you guys ever seen Pink Flamingos?
No.
Oh, no. Yeah. Hey, the cook, the thief, her wife, and his lover. Yeah, is the most disgusting film I've ever seen in my life. And it was like this big art house film, and they were like, "Oh, it's a Jacobean tragedy," and all this kind of. It was, from the opening scene, was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. And I was like, well, it can't get any worse than this. And it got worse all the way to the last scene, which was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. But I was an adult, and my stomach was a little bit more cast iron than it was when I was 14. But that movie was horrific.
What was the scene?
Have you guys seen it?
No.
Okay,
I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen it.
I just want to hear Blevins go.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm out.
Dude, okay. It's this mob boss, right? And he's like, his girlfriend is Helen Mirren. But he's just this slob, and he's got this gang with him, and they're trying to be like sophisticates, and they go to this restaurant all the time, but they're just slobs. They're just human trash, right? So they're eating like oysters and vomiting after they're eating and stuff. I mean, And so Helen Mirren meets up with this guy just randomly in the bathroom or something, and they never talk to each other, but they just they have sex in the bathroom, and then they start meeting, in different places and having sex in the restaurant whenever she comes in, right? And eventually the mob guy, you know, figures it out and he kills the dude, right? And so then Helen Mirren gets this revenge, like she's going to get her mob boss husband, right? And so she has the cook the guy, like, and so he cooks him nude, and he's like covered in, like, I don't know, some sort of sauce or something, right? And she has a gun on her husband, this gang guy, after they've killed the entire gang, and he's the last one left. and so the guy's laid out there buck naked on this table, coated in sauce or whatever. And she goes, now eat him. Right. And he's like, what? You know, and she's like, eat him, you know? So he like carves off a piece of him and starts to eat it. And then he throws up. Right. And then she goes, now eat his member, shall we say. And because it's the best part or something. And so he's about to take a bite out of it, and she shoots him in the head. And that was, I mean, everything leading up to it was horrendous. And then it ended with that. And you were just like, there was never a movie I was so thankful to get out of in my life.
You know what? That movie probably inspired that other movie. Do you remember? It was kind of it was farcical. It was comedy. It was called Eating Raoul.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I think it was like the hired help or something, and the guy died, and they were going to have a dinner party, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, what do we do with Raoul? And it's like, oh, well, we'll cook him. And they served him to the guests.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a comedy, though. That was like a dark comedy of some.
Yeah, dark comedy. That's it. Yeah, not a fart.
Well, Pink Flamingos is a John Waters film, and I made the mistake of going with Jimmy.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but I know.
Yeah, Jimmy Palmiotti and Nelson to go see it at like a midnight showing or something. I think that's when we saw it.
Those are like things like when you lose a bet, right? You go see it.
It was like, we got to go see this movie. You never seen that movie? Like, no. It's like, okay, let's go see it. It was like, and it's just, the ending is just. Like what you say about the scene, like someone eating something, but it was real, seeing real stuff.
Yeah, I know.
They were eating something real, like Divine was eating it, and it was a
piece of poo.
All right, here's
dog crap.
Along these same lines.
Yes, the dog.
Along these same lines. Think about what the stupidest movie you've ever seen. My candidate immediately is Cabin Boy.
What? These pipes are clean, son.
So my brother and I grew up with our dad listening to Bob and Ray. So we had a soft spot for Chris Elliott.
Right.
And so we were taking our friend Kevin and said, Kev, come on. And Kev hated Chris Elliott. And he goes, and we'll pay. Come on, just come on. And Kevin's like, what if I don't like it? I go, well, then you can pay us back. And for some reason that worked. And there was one point in the movie where Kevin went, heh. And at the end of the movie, he said, that laugh, he says, that's why you're not dead. And that movie was really, really bad. And you sort of wondered, how did it get made? It was that bad.
Elliott's career started on David Letterman, right? He was like,
absolutely. He did a number of different routines, Guy Under the Stairs and all the other kind of stuff like that. And of course he went on, what was his show on early Fox?
He was a newspaper boy or something.
Yeah.
And with his parents.
Yeah. And matter of fact, his dad played his dad, I think.
Terrible.
That guy in that Green, what was that guy's name? Green, he married
Tom Green.
Tom Green. Like,
Tom Green.
How did they have a career? Like, how did that happen?
Chris Elliott, you can at least look and say, yeah, oh, he had a really funny dad.
That's not good though.
Well, he was funny in Groundhog Day, so
he was absolutely funny in Groundhog Day, and I think that just says, like, okay, he's a great supporting guy, shouldn't be a leading man.
It's kind of like Will Ferrell for me. Like Will Ferrell can't really hold a movie up per se, but he's a great ensemble or a great like he can come in and do a scene and still the show. Like Austin Powers, and like he's got like those little moments. But
like Wedding Crashers.
Yeah. He's got like a good comedic supporting role where that you just throw him in for just like it's just like an impact of humor. But see, Elf though, I think he could do that there. Like
I think that's a very good argument, Nile.
Yeah.
Because I would have totally gone the other, said the exact, say like great supporting role, but that was him. That hung on him too.
Mm-hmm.
Elf. So that's a very good point.
Elf, I can't watch. That movie's horrible.
Really?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I like it.
I love that movie.
I love that movie.
I figured you would, Nile.
I freaking love it. I do love it. Don't make me expose some photos there.
Well, why don't you
boy. I try to
Art
avoid
has photos too of you now.
What's that?
Art has photos of you too. Don't forget, because Art has everything.
Oh, what was that photo that you put in the green room? Oh my gosh, is that you in that bat cowl?
No, that's you in that bat cowl.
That is not me.
I know that.
Are you sure?
I
know that belly button anywhere.
How dare you?
Nile,
I thought it was funny as all
the guy
hell.
in that back cowl, he goes to Terrificon, so I'll introduce you to him.
Yeah.
That guy's always at Terrificon.
He is.
Oh, no.
That's Art.
The streets are safer.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
See that scar? That's where the balls went. Right there, that red line. They had to come down. Left the
Once
scar.
again, how dare you? Somebody's got to keep the streets safe. That's all.
That's it.
You're not the hero they want. You're the hero they
deserve.
The hero they need.
Yeah, right.
So what do you got planned for 2022 there, Batman T-Bear?
Oh, 2022 is going to be a glorious year. So Black and White will still be in demand. I'm going to be working on that book. And there it is right there.
Beat me to it, Scala.
Yeah, Black and White Volume 2, Man versus Machine. We're at 92,455. And we have a bunch of new stuff that we are going to be bringing to the campaign. We have action figures, like little mini action figures of Black and White. We have original artwork that we're going to add and a couple other surprises. So keep your eyes tuned on that campaign. Also, we are going to do another graphic novel of Chrono Mechanics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're going to do another 64-pager of that. And then we have Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too, which is my art book. And we're going to do a volume 2 of that. And Steve Dye is working on that right now.
Hey, Art, when you do the Chrono Mechanics 2, will there be a way to get the first one?
Yeah, we overprinted, thank goodness. We don't have a lot of them, but I do believe we'll have enough for that campaign. And if we sell out, like we did with Black and White, we sold out of Volume 1. We'll put a new cover on it, and we'll do a second printing as well.
Nice.
Because I'm very proud of that first issue of Chrono, and I think it'd be a shame not to have people be able to read that stuff.
Yeah, I missed out on that one somehow. I did back Volume 2 of,
thank you.
Of Black and White. Well, I think it's super near and dear to my career. Black and White was on the first Overstreet that I had an article in.
Nice.
Overstreet's Comic Book Monthly 16. And when I went in for my interview for my staff job, Carol Overstreet had an enlargement of that cover on her wall. And I knew I had the job.
Are you the one that sent me the email?
I am.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so can we talk about that?
Yeah, we absolutely will talk about that, but that's offline. But you're going to do, and we're going to have you do a cover. Aaron is doing a cover. And Billy has done a cover. So I guess Nile and Blevins, you guys better get together and do a cover for me.
Awesome.
Can I draw you, Blevins?
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of your French guys.
Yes.
I want to say something for those that didn't. Last night after the Comic Artist Proceed, the Comicsgate show, Art went online live and did just a live stream where you were inking, which I had never seen you do, like a live stream and you're inking. But man, I want to just give you props because you're. It wasn't like a regular show where you were just talking, and you were actually like letting people know why you were making the decisions you were making, and your skill and why you did certain things, and and giving, you know, recaps on how you used to come up with that technique. And I just thought that the informative aspect of that stream was incredible. So I just want to give you props on that, even though you weren't watching the chat. I was telling you in the chat how awesome I thought the stream was.
I was trying to do as much. I mean, that's always the catch-22, right? When you're working, you can't really look at the chat as much as you would like to. But I'm glad you enjoy it, because I hesitate doing it for two reasons. One, I'm afraid of boring people, and then the other is you don't want to have a spoiler alert moment. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to give away too much of these books until they're printed up and everything. So I got to be real careful with stuff that I do, because people might get too much at the story.
All right, I've got a question. Have you detected from your supporters for Black and White, what's the split? Is it mostly people like me who are fans of the original, or is it people who are discovering it now?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure, but there are quite a bit that do remember the 94 version of it. But there's a lot of people coming into this indie market right now that are like newbies. Some of them are younger as well. So there are people that have never heard of Black and White before. So
I think that's really cool. I know that in editing Billy and Steve on the current She stuff, one of the things we concentrated early on was writing it to reward the people who are the longtime fans, but not isolate the people who are newcomers.
Yeah, and I think the best way you can do that is just do good comics. You know what I mean? Because I think
exactly.
comics actually just cross all of those different platforms, or all those different people that collect and everything else. So yeah, I just try to do always the best work I can, and I still feel like I mean, Billy's been doing it for a while. Aaron's been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for a long while. And I still feel like I have a lot to offer the industry. I still feel like I haven't really played my hand yet. And the stuff that Aaron's doing on Wraith of God, holy crap, dude, all that cross-hatching and stuff. And the horses that you're drawing are inspired, man. They are inspired.
Thank you.
Well, that's what I never understood, right? Because you see the industry and people tell you, like, oh, you get to a certain age, they bring you out, or they hire younger, cheaper artists and things. But it's like, why? There has to be room for everyone, because, you take talents like yourselves, and it's like, okay, your artwork back in the 90s was great. It had that 90s style that we call it 90s style because that's what we grew up with, right? But to see the evolution, right, as any tradesman, any craftsman does. I mean, when you practice your trade and do your trade every day, you get better and better. Now, you take what we loved in 1994 and you bring it to 2021, 2022. I mean, and we get to see the evolution of your skill. I mean, right off the bat, you get longtime fans like myself, Blevins and stuff. We see that, and we're like, holy shit, next level. But we recognize it, right? And I think the new people coming in see that, and they're like, wow, that's incredible. Because you look at all these new comic books, and they're like stylized, right? There's stuff where I'm like, this is complete. I can't read this. Like, it looks like it's a watercolor that got smudged. That they let drop a cup of freaking glass of water on the whole book. And I'm trying to figure out if this is actually a Batman that I'm looking at.
Well, that's my next style. So thanks.
Well,
I'm surprised you don't use a brush and ink.
Well, why do you choose to use black ink?
I hate you so much right now. Why do you choose to use black ink?
I really like that question.
Yeah, that's a good question, but I'm not going to even go there because I'm going to get myself into trouble.
One of the things that I think is exciting about what Nile just said is that both with this new golden age of creativity, where people are doing their own stuff and going straight to the consumers. I think it's fascinating. I also think what's really cool is that we're getting to where we've got a bunch of us 40s and older, and 30s. People are doing their best work, and I think, but isn't that just pretty amazing where there's some of these folks that could be phoning it in, and they're not. They're doing the best work of their career. It's so encouraging.
It is.
God, I would love to. I would love to say my idea on that. Oh, go ahead, Art. Sorry.
Yeah, just before I left DC Comics, I was negotiating for a page rate increase, and they were like, "Why?" You know, that's always the question. Like, why should we? And so I told them, I said, because I'm holding back every month for you guys. And you know, like I'm still doing A-list stuff, you know what I mean? Like I'm still giving them everything I have, but there's things that you have as an artist that they don't pay you enough for, you know, like, so I always felt like I didn't want to do these things and just do it for a paycheck, you know what I mean? Like I wanted it to have some kind of meaning, or at least if I was going to do it for a paycheck, it would be more of a paycheck. And so then they go, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm holding back every month." And they're like, "What?" They've never had anybody talk to them like that before. And so then I said, "Yeah, you pay me more and you see what happens." And they did. And I threw 2 or 3 new you know, things that I had chambered in the book, you know, that next issue that I got. And so that's how I feel now. Like I still feel like there's a lot of things that I just haven't really done yet. That if I get the opportunity, you know, hopefully, you know, I still have some longevity as far as health and things like that in the industry, and a fan base that supports it. Hell, man, it's the sky's the limit. I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, you know, that's kind of the funny thing when you look at life. As we get older, we're supposed to get wiser, right? And so you have young people coming to older people, smart young people come to older people seeking wisdom, right? Because we've lived a life and we've had a bunch of experiences that say my 28-year-old son who just got married a week ago, right? He hasn't had the experiences that I've had in 30 years of marriage and having 2 kids and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So the same thing I think can and should apply artistically. I know so much more now after basically 30 years in the industry than I did when I broke in. You know, I may not quite have the same amount of energy for, you know, working 7 days a week and 16-hour days and all that kind of crap, but I know how to do stuff and I've learned my craft so well. And then, you know, you get the courage to try something maybe different because you figured it out. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you can still do it, which we still all can, we're not so old that, you know, I can't keep my hand steady. But you get an opportunity. Like what I'm doing on Wraith of God, I could never have done. Well, maybe I could have done it at DC. I don't know, but I don't know that I would have enough guts to do it at DC.
Well, also, I don't think they give you enough time to do all that.
Well, that's
That's there's a lot of work in those pages.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So
yeah, I was definitely, what I was going to say was that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed. You know, being a fanboy from back in you know, all the way back in the 80s up until now, what you end up seeing is, you know, you talk about how the older generation of artists are putting out their best work now. Well, just like in everything, you know, you have the older people that want to compete with the younger people, and the younger people were brought up in a different age, like a digital age, so they understand that technology and that stylized a little bit better. But the thing is that with dealing digital and you know, dealing with the page rates are now, like, they compromise their art style to match the pay rate that they, you know, you get what you pay for with these new people, because that's the mentality that this new generation has, is that you get what you pay for, whereas people like Aaron and Art and Billy, I mean, just do not, you know, give up any stylistic points. You know, like when you start downgrading your own work, like you have a mindset where it's okay to do that under certain circumstances. And it's kind of like, you know, when you work out or when you do anything, you know, like you get to a point where if you work out every day, you can get to where you lift the really big weights. But if you start not lifting the big weights anymore and you move down to like the lower weights, it's really hard for you to get back up to lifting to those big weights again. I don't know if that's a good analogy of what I'm trying to say, but
horrible analogy. But we got it.
Yeah, but for me, like I was working, like I can, you know, the monthly grind stuff, I just didn't know how to compromise. Like
that's what I'm saying. You guys just don't. Why would you?
Like that. Yeah, I never went, you're paying me this amount, so this is all you get. Like I was still pretty much given everything I had. When I meant like I was holding back, it was innovative stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was still putting everything I had into the work. It was just the more stylistic stuff, that I was holding back. And I think the biggest, like, this is just an observation. We were talking, Blevins, is that I think what happened too in the industry is it used to be, writer, penciler, inker, and that was kind of it. Like letterers and colorists, they kind of they weren't really considered talent. They were considered production. Actually, quite frankly, they were considered production. They weren't considered talent on the book. That's just reality. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but that's just the way it was. And so then when digital coloring came in, that voice started competing kind of with the inker voice. And the way this industry works, and I think they just did it just to save money, to be quite frank about it, is they as the company started elevating the colorists because they were putting more, they had more of a voice in the book. And so what they were doing is they started getting more money. So what happened is, like, inkers and colorists were kind of working at the same level now. So for most people, they were kind of interchangeable. But what people figured out over the years is if you have like a digital colorist that really shines, I don't believe this, but they believe that you don't have to do all that rendering. Like when there was flat color and there was a reason, there was more rendering. There was more, like, pencilers understood and inkers understood how to make gray tones. They understood how to tell, dramatic stories with lighting and things like that. And what they've done is they've gotten rid of all of that. And so now it's basically just coloring book outlines. You know what I mean? Like, it's real linear work,
100%,
without a lot of the mood that they're putting into it, or lighting and things like that, or rendering. And I do believe it's probably to save money, but it's mostly because of the digital coloring revolution. I think
there's a couple things to consider. I think when Art and I broke in, right, we were kind of the transition from the old school, the John Burns and people like that, into this new wave of really highly detailed artists like Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane, who put in all the line work and all this kind of stuff. So for me personally, I was never comfortable. I always was looking over my shoulder and felt like I need to get better. I need to get better. I need to get better. And I've never lost that. And that's one of the reasons why I never coasted. I mean, sometimes you get stuck in a deadline situation where you got to do what you got to do to get it done, right? And but I was always aware that I was, one bad job away from never working again. And so I was always pushing myself, to be better. So now when that becomes like a regular staple in how you approach work, you're not just going to go at, my age 57 and just go, I'm going to mail it in, because now I'm independent, and it's even more important that my work looks better than it, I can't coast on anything. I don't have anybody protecting me at the big two. And I also think part of Art, what you're saying about the coloring, I think is true. But I also think that there's this new wave of, I think maybe a 10 years younger than me, a lot of animation influence has come into comics as well, and which is generally a more open style, which makes it, number one, the colorist becomes even more important when you're working in that style. And so I think it works hand in hand, right? It's like we don't need all the line work, and we got a bunch of guys who are, influenced by animation and don't want to do all the line work. So, I think there's a couple of things going on there in terms of what we're seeing stylistically today than what we were seeing 25 years ago.
I have a question for you, because with Evil One here, his comment, the Jim Lees of the world kind of ruined the industry in ways. Some people in the 90s would only hire you if you could draw like Jim Lee. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's kind of generational for generation of artists? They all had their, hey, if you could draw, like Kirby or Buscema or Lee.
Yes, I think it is generational. I don't think Jim Lee is the standard anymore. I think maybe, I don't know who, George Jimenez or somebody like that, who's doing Batman, and it's all digital. That's sort of become, because I remember Ralph Macchio sitting in his office. I was trying to break in and said, well, how would you compare yourself your stuff to Jim Lee's? And I was like, I didn't even know how to answer it, you know? Jim
and I'm me. I mean,
well, Ralph was a jerk, you know that, and just a royal jerk. But anyway, not to say anything bad about anybody, but I don't think you go into DC's office, if you even could anymore. And, they look at your portfolio and say, well, how do you compare yourself to Jim Lee? You know, but I think you go in the 70s, the 60s, it's like, John Buscema, come in here. Why aren't you drawing more like Jack? You know, that type of thing was
going
on.
The industry used to work is there were decades, right? So it was usually like there was a house style or there was a look that would kind of define like a decade. So that's why they say Jim Lee the 90s. So that was kind of like, not that everybody drew like that. I mean, there was other things happening, but that was kind of the defining like commercial look. And like you said before that, there was like the Neil Adams or there was Jack Kirby. You know, there were different guys that kind of stood out so much that the industry emulated them because it was a good business model. You know what I mean? It just made sense to draw that way if you wanted to get work.
I had at San Diego Comic-Con in '93 when I went trying to look for work, I had one bite from DC and they had asked if I could draw like Jim Lee, if I could ape Jim Lee's style. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I can't. And I was real, I'm like, I didn't want to,
Mm-hmm.
And
not wanting to.
And that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own book.
And not wanting to is the right decision, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure
I don't
that
know if I mentioned this, Billy, but I really admire you. Like when you went indie, you stayed, man, and you have a significant body of work now. Like she is undeniable. You know what I mean? Like that's a mainstay. And I wish I would have had that kind of dig down and belief. Because, when the industry in 95 or 96 started kind of collapsing, I left Image and I went for the sure paycheck and I went back to Marvel Comics. And then I spent the next 20 years or whatever between Marvel and DC, just kind of not really evolving, not really doing anything. I'm thankful that I was able to put a roof over my family's, heads and feed them. But, it was kind of one of those almost like soul sucking, those were like soul sucking decades, where other than the paycheck, there wasn't really a lot to take from it. And I kind of look back and I think, man, in '94, if Black and White could have kept going, because I think about you, Billy, and the way you did with She. And then when you did the omnibus, I was like, oh my gosh, that is a significant amount of work that you just cannot deny.
Speaking of omnibus, if I may.
Yeah, did you glue those pages into the binder, Billy, or are they?
Well, that's the best part of it. Where is it? Hang on, let me get it.
While he's getting that, I just want to make sure that it didn't come off like I wasn't trying to say, Art, that you or Aaron or even Billy, that you guys compromise. I was not saying that at all. I was saying that other artists have done that, and that's why the older generation looks so much better and are able to do so much.
Oh,
I was not insulting you guys at all.
Way. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to make sure that I clarified myself more so than you. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even listening, so I don't know what you said. So
wow, thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
Here's the final proof it was being binded, but they sent this to me over Christmas, before Christmas, and here it is, man. This is it. But again, it's not glued because what do you want for $60 or $500?
Well, maybe if you have that stretch goal, we'll glue them.
Did we make a joke last night that they were going to have to glue their own pages in?
Yeah, they're going to have to glue your own page. But I sold for only $60 for 500 pages. So
now, does the glue kit come with it, or do you have to buy that separately?
Glue kit. Yep, there is an Elmer's glue kit. It's actually little sponsored by Elmer's, but it's little Crusade glue. It's called or Tucci glue. And there's bottle. I have a bottle of it right here. Here's your Tucci glue.
It's actually called Glucci. It's called
Glucci. Yeah, thank you. That's right, Glucci.
The slogan is "Get stuck with Tucci."
And but if you want to read them chapter by chapter, they're all they come in their own.
They come right out
there.
Oh, nice.
No, so I'm very excited. Thank you, everybody. So now this book is set to arrive here at the studio. Look at that gold.
Look at that. That is a beautiful cover.
Who designed this cover?
I don't know, but he's a talented guy.
He's a talented 30-something-year-old man.
Yeah.
He's like a teen sensation, that guy.
He's like, no, the teen sensation didn't design it all. The teen sensation and the Scalawags designed it.
Oh, Scalawags
did it.
We got some nice quotes, and I might even have a quote from our editor, but who cares?
Gemstone.
Vice President of Publishing, Gemstone. New York Times.
Wow.
What is this? Jeff Smith, Forest Hills Times, Florida Today, Chris Claremont, Access Magazine,
the T-Bear Report,
Sky, Swing Magazine, Comic Book Collector, and a jolt of excitement from USA.
And Cat Fancy.
USA Weekend.
Nice.
So here it is, man. I'm so proud. I can't wait to get it. And we start fulfilling next week, Monday. We move into the My American Legion Hall, which I gave a nice donation for the month. So we'll be just working away. Soloff is coming in, Jeff, on the 12th.
Yep.
From Mexico. He's going to be staying with us for about 2-3 weeks. And just working away, man.
There you go. We got I didn't want to miss this one. We got a $5 super chat from Evil One. Billy, if you accept my friend request, I can actually see all your posts. I was lucky enough to catch the one about this stream. Show us the She Omnibus, which you did.
Okay. Oh, hang on a second then. If I accept your friend, so if I go to the Facebook.
So if he accepts your friend request,
you're
going to buy 4 more omnibuses.
I want to say, if Evil One sends me some super chats on my live stream tomorrow, I'll become your friend on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just Googled Evil One. Is it just Evil One on Facebook?
Yeah, Evil. I don't know.
It might be the real name. Go to your friend requests.
Maybe he's Dr. Evil.
Hey, I don't.
We know his name's Chad.
Hang on a second, Nile. I don't think we should be that presumptuous. His name might be the Evil One.
It's an Evil One Comics.
It's on his birth
certificate. I have to add that person as a friend, so that's not him.
Was that Evil Ernie on his?
That is Evil Ernie.
It is Evil Ernie. Let me see. When did he send me?
I know who this is. Then that's Brian.
Brian who?
That's Brian Polito.
Who the hell is that?
Brian Polito, you're snubbing Brian Polito? How dare you?
He works for Francisco
heard of him.
or something.
Never.
I got you. I got it right here. Confirm. Oh, I'm unable to add more friends. I'm about to get rid of someone.
It's under Evil
Oh,
One.
don't delete me again.
No, let me see whose birthday it is. I unfriended him on your birthdays.
You can't leak that.
He always
edit that out. He's like, happy birthday, delete.
Oh yeah, Billy is maxed out at 5,000. Crazy.
Why do they do that? Why does Facebook max you out? Like I got a list of people, and I'm like, what do? I got 5,000. That's why I opened up an Aaron Lopresti art page so that people could go to that if I couldn't get them in on my friend list.
And also, when you post, they're not going to all 5,000 of those people.
No,
So
like 10 people sell posts.
All right, Chris, I see. I'll find it. Let me delete someone. Let me just, like I said, let me see.
See you later, Nile.
It's fine with me. I don't care.
Okay, let's see who are these people.
Whatever.
Billy snubs friend request from George Lucas.
All right, you know what? Because you're I'm just gonna have to unfriend Bob Almond.
Oh, come on. What did Bob ever do to you?
No, poor Bob. Imagine that. Bob's like, what?
He's watching right now, like, that's the final
Now,
straw.
see, let me tell you, Bob Almond is kind of underhanded. I was at a Boston show, and I look up, and there's just some this redheaded young babe standing in front of me, and she had a black mini skirt and a black jacket and a white, and she. She's like, oh, would you like to contribute to? Well, she talked to me for a while. Then she wanted to isn't Bob that collects for some scholarship for
that's
yeah. And so I was like, oh, I see how he does it, trying to get a few bucks out of me. So I will not say whether or not it worked. I'll just.
Were those one of those ink babes that he has?
Yes.
Little girl.
But I was unsuspecting. I just looked up and I was like, wow.
He victimized you.
He did.
He did. He got you. He got you in the. Well, let's not. Let's just let that one go.
Got me in the wallet.
So, Nile, what is in for the Pop XP in 2022?
Yes.
It's going to be insane.
Talk to us, pal. Talk to us.
Well, we're probably going to cancel the channel in 2 weeks.
No.
And then we're going to focus on an embroidering channel where we're going to teach you how to make your own stuff.
So we're not going with the NASA? We're not going to talk about NASA?
No.
Like, do the whole space program?
Ooh, the Pop XP Paranormal?
Oh, Pop XP Paranormal.
Ooh, I like that. I'll
That is
tune
fun.
in for that.
That is fun. We got to get that going.
Well,
like
we got a bunch. We're
have-
up in the. We're making some fun-filled content for everyone.
I
We've
thought
actually
you said
got.
fun-filled.
You guys know Adam Lawson? He's been on the channel a few times. He's had his campaigns out.
I know that
He's
name.
all right? He, me and him are working on our comic book crowdfunding comic review, like doing legit reviews on the books that everyone's backing, and we're mixing them in with not mainstream, but we are going to do some Kickstarter books, some mainly Indiegogo, throwing in some Kickstarters that we do back, just so you can see the comparison. People want to talk about quality. Well, here's a great comparison. Here's Kickstarter books. Here's Indiegogo books. Here's Comicsgate books, non-Comicsgate books. We're just going straight indie, no mainstream, and we're going to do raw. People may like us, they might hate us, but we're going to do real reviews on these books.
Niall, I have a question for you.
You better be nice to me, or I'm just going to be in trouble, pal.
Or you'll get the gun.
I've seen those guns, Aaron. I'm not messing with you, man.
It's right here, pal.
Hey, Aaron,
he's got the other ones too.
Stories?
What's that?
Do you have any paranormal stories, Aaron? Experiences or anything like that?
No, but I want to be on the show as the lovable skeptic because I want to believe there's a Bigfoot. I want to believe there's a Loch Ness monster. I just don't, and I want to be convinced. So I'm the lovable skeptic that'll come on your show. And
well, we're trying to bring Pop XP Paranormal back, which we did. Me and Howie Noldishin, who's an artist and does his Paranormal series. We started that up, and then obviously with COVID things and changing and personal things that happened, it got put on hold. But we are going to kick that back up.
Yeah, Howie does.
That's a fun show. I like that, and Howie knows everyone in the paranormal field.
Do you guys put the aluminum foil hats on before you do the show?
Yes,
they got custom aluminum hats made.
Now, is it just ghosts? When you say paranormal, is it just ghosts, or is it any sort of like
paranormal? Could be UFOs, ghosts. Well, the point of the show is though to bring on, like we do normally, like we bring on comic book guests, creator guests, and
what about the Wisconsin Dog Man? Would he perhaps be on there?
If the guest is a specialist in that topic, right? Then we would talk about it. So the goal is to bring in people that are specialized in the guys that do the Bigfoot stuff, the guys that are on the Bigfoot reality shows, the women and the men and women that are on the ghost hunting shows, getting the ghost hunters cast on, Jason Howe's, those guys, doing interviews, very similar to what we do now with comic books and stuff. And we actually, the few episodes we had some great talent in the paranormal reality series.
You have
field, yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's a fun show.
Yeah,
you gotta get my daughter on. She does. She works for it's like a Netflix type of online service, and you have to be a subscriber. But she does paranormal shows on that.
Oh, so she's great.
Yeah. So her main show is like what she'll do is she takes like a paranormal story in history. And so then she'll actually, since she's an artist, she'll find the object of whatever it is in the story, and she'll paint it while she's giving you the history lesson of whatever it is. But she also, she's teamed up with these two other guys, and they basically, like, they're the Scooby Gang, and they go to these historical, like ghost sites, and they have their, what are those things called? Like the
EMF meters and all that stuff
like that. And then, they're pretty good at faking, like, did you hear that? Oh, what was that?
Oh my God,
shadow? Wait.
Some move.
Did you read that?
Well, we're supposed to film an actual ghost hunt because I'm supposed to meet up with Howie. He's got to find the spot. I don't know if we're going to do like a penitentiary somewhere or something. But we got to do that.
New Jersey in general.
He's got those guys with like
he just moved to Florida. So I
they
don't
have
know
the night vision or whatever, like they can film, in the dark and stuff like that. So everything looks green. Like she's got like all the tech stuff, when she goes out. So it's pretty fun. But I kid her. I was like, none of this is real. And she's like, no, Dad, it's real. And I'm like, it's not real.
No, look, what you guys need to do is uncover the mystery of the lizard men of Utah that like live underground.
Yeah.
That I want answers on that.
The lizard men of Utah.
No, Tom Rainey made me aware of this at like a DC convention like years ago. And he's talking about these Utah lizard men. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He goes, no, they live underneath this mall and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I have never heard this.
You know what's really funny? I didn't believe you until you said they lived under a mall. And then I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Well, apparently they were mutated because of all the nuclear testing. And there's this, I thought he said they lived underneath this mall. And I said, you're pulling my leg. He goes, no, this is an actual thing that people believe, and so I want that investigated. I want to know if there's lizard men in Utah underground.
Well, let's make it a stretch goal on your campaign. Yeah, so that we can set the expedition because we need funding, Aaron. We need funding.
True. That's right.
Yeah, so we're going to try to kick off a bunch of those shows, continue doing these shows. And honestly, we just kind of want to do more Hangout streams because it's more fun. You know the conversations you have before and at the end of your streams?
Right.
That's the stuff that's fun.
That's the good stuff.
That's the stuff you want to talk about. So we're working on that. And then I've got to get my book, Medico, finally rolling out. So that's going to come out in 2022. Is
that really going to happen?
That's really going to happen, yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, so I'm pumped about that.
The way you say these things, Nile, they're almost like threats. Oh, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
You're going to remember it, pal.
Nile, do you have a schedule?
No.
Oh yeah, I got.
Who has schedules?
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I've got a schedule.
Yeah, whenever my kids go to bed and my wife's asleep.
One of us is an editor here.
I don't know if you guys know this.
You think Blevins has time? Oh, he didn't laugh at that.
Wait a minute, nobody got it that Aaron actually pulled out a weapon.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, I was getting serious. I mean, if Nile's getting serious, I'm getting serious, right?
And of course, it's
he's basically saying 2022 is about to blow.
It's not a real weapon.
Well, we're actually going to start calling it 2022-chi. 2022-chi, because this is really.
All right, by you saying that, you definitely are getting this now, Blevins, for being a producer on the book. This is yours.
Oh,
you gotta glue the pages in yourself, though.
Man, I don't want it glued. I think that's amazing. I love the back prints. You know, I mean, like it's a unique item, like the promo prints and stuff they send.
But the glue is $100.
The glue, yeah,
the glue-chi, the Billy glue.
When you get that notice, you have to pay for shipping. All of a sudden, it comes that you got to pay for your glue. Glue-chi.
Yeah, shipping and glue sold separately.
Oh, JC, what do you got? You got something exciting going on, don't you? Lost Universes?
I have several things. We'll start with in the, I guess it's a January previews. The Free Comic Book Day stuff is in there, right? And so I've got the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics.
Oh,
which I really had a really cool day the last year when Free Comic Book Day, such as it was, when Steve Jeppe read Gemstone's entry last year, he called me and said, find a way to keep this in print and make it 48 pages instead of just regular comic size. So I'm real excited about that. That'll be out in May.
And then you turned to him and said, hey, you're not the boss of me. And then you hung up the phone.
I never even entertained that thought.
No, he said, "You're not the boss of me."
and
I'm making it 64 pages.
Seriously, seriously,
European bound.
Pretty freaking great phone call, really.
Wait a minute. So this is the guide to collecting comics. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's called the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics, not the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide.
Right.
And it's just a comic book version of things about collecting. And it's told in comic stories.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. And that we did it as a book in 2012. It's probably next to the grading guide, which is a regular, periodically we do that. But honestly, it's probably our second or third bestseller next to the price guide. And we did two printings of the last one.
Well,
hang on, just real quick version is it was mainly text before, and the new one is hybrid text. It'll be in the fall. It'll be hybrid text and comics. The Free Comic Book Day is just comics.
Well, so it's like what to look for when you're collecting, or if you're buying Golden Age, you do this, or I mean,
absolutely. Look, it's some of it's very basic stuff, which is it's a strange thing for the price guide to say, but our philosophy has always been collect what you love, and you're never going to overspend. You know, don't let anybody else tell you what you love, and that's a recurring theme through all of our stuff.
I'm going to tell everybody what they love, and they love black and white. Man versus Machine Volume 2 back in today.
And
no, hang on. Wait a minute now. See, I used to follow that creed. Collect what you love.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, that's Wraith of God. That's not.
No, this you should love. So collect this because you love it.
Or this book.
I got tired of
yes.
I got tired of the Incredible Hulk, and so I quit buying them one issue before Wolverine appeared off the newsstand. See?
Shame on you.
Now, that's what happens when you follow, and so anyway, that's just, kind of sticks in my craw a little bit, but I may never recover from it. But
yeah, we're shitting all over JC's moment.
So at any rate, Free Comic Book Day was in May. We've also got, and before that, the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide to Lost Universes, which is a first for us. It is a brand new guide to, among other things, Aaron, the Ultraverse.
Oh.
And Defiant and Future Comics and CrossGen and the MLJ Archie superheroes and original Valiant, Milestone, things that have come and gone, and many cases come again.
Did you say Defiant and I missed it?
Yep.
Yes.
Defiant.
Yep. And everything in it, everything listed in it is pictured.
Nice.
So I think it's going to have a life well beyond its pricing life. And it really was a lot. I mean, I was working a lot of hours on this book. Like if I billed my time, it would never make money. And
wow,
we've got and we've got a Lee Weeks Iron Jaw cover from the Atlas Seaboard line, which is pretty freaking great. Jerry Ordway did the Crusaders there. J.G. Jones, that is an actual unpublished Defiant cover that he finished up. And if you scroll down, we've got Alex Saviuk and Tom Palmer doing Starbrand. Alex actually drew issue 3 of Starbrand.
Oh, nice.
That's like the Marvel New Universe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I do have to say the Overstreet, like the reference books that come out of this, because you have the price guide, but you have so many like collecting comics, grading comics, all this stuff. They're great resources to have alongside your comic book collection, because the guide to grading books is great. I mean, it really is, because there's blown up, like comic book size, what condition you should literally be looking for per each grade. And even though it might not be 100% accurate, as each grade is slightly different, it does teach you what to look for.
I can say that I when I went to work on the second edition of the grading guide, that was when we were making the transition from the old the original 100-point system to the modern 10-point system. And I had to work on standardizing terminology, making sure we were comparing apples to apples. And that was the one thing the original grading guide wasn't good at. They did the, normally editorially, you don't want to keep repeating the same term. You want to freshen it up. But when you were making comparisons between a 9.8 and a 9.2 and a 2.0, you want to be saying the same words. And so that's actually when I taught myself to grade effectively, was working on that book, because I got to say the book has it, and we've just refined it over the years, based on some of the latest stuff. As CGC and CBCS generally at least acknowledge our book, doesn't mean they don't have their own quirks in grading. I mean, they're companies, and of course they do. But it's great to be able to say you're the standard about something. And Nile, I really appreciate the words about the other books, because we've put out a lot of fun stuff about collecting movie posters and Star Wars and Batman and, tabletop games, video games, all these just informative stuff that aren't actually price guides.
I give your grading guide a 9.8.
Thank you. And
I need to get that.
The first grading guide to ever have an original art cover. Billy did that.
Nice.
With Miss Fury. And
awesome.
At any rate, so that's going to come out It's 640 pages. It just kept
like
growing.
$640. What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's a grading guide is 640 pages.
No. The Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide to Lost Universes.
Oh, okay.
And we're already working on number 2, which will come out in March of 2023. And
so I can go to Gemstone and pick up a grading guide or any of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the website. Okay.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, drop me a line and you'll get it, and you'll actually get an answer this time. Now that I'm back.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be glad to take care of you that with Aaron. The other thing is in the February previews from our pals at American Mythology, Scott Braden and Mike Malborough's Kent Menace. I've got a new 6-pager in there that Dan Lawless is drawing of a character called the Retro Mariner, and I was lucky enough to Scott. It's sort of like if you can imagine a guy with a old-fashioned diving helmet on and like Cthulhu tentacles coming out of the faceplate. That's this guy, and he goes, "I need an origin." I go, "Okay."
Excuse me.
And he actually, as soon as he got my script, he goes, "Could you guys do 2 more parts of this?" And so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And I'm working on the second one now.
You should fight
that's in the February previews. And then we've also got sometime, I think it'll be February. It might trip into March. We'll have the next Vampire PA on crowdfunding.
Awesome.
It's called Al Capone Vampire. And it's
if you read the last Vampire PA, you'll understand why I'm anticipating this next. Like, you just left me hanging for too long, JC.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And part of that is part of that I'll just blame what everybody else does, which is COVID. Because I have been working. Normally my work day is I do all my gemstone stuff during the day, and then I eat dinner, hang out with Rosina, and I start to work on my own stuff. Well, this year, being shorthanded, it's been an entire year of come back, after I eat dinner, come back to work, and it's work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lucky, unlike a lot of people that do comics on the side, I love my day job. A lot of people that's just what they do to get there. Well, I love doing the price guide stuff, and I love, commissioning covers from the greatest artists in the business. And what's not to love about that? I have a standard that Bob Overstreet said, and I always talk about this, is that each year I'm trying to match up to the number 5, Joe Kubert, Tarzan. Number 6, Will Eisner, The Spirit. Number 7, Carl Barks, Porky.
You mean this one?
Yeah,
just for example.
Absolutely.
What was that? Hold on. Oh, yeah.
1976 price guide. This is the first one I bought off at a bookstore. The first one I ever saw it, Eisner cover, and I've got every one since then.
That's dude. That's so.
What's
phenomenal.
the bookmark? What is bookmarked there?
Well, here, let's JC. What is the official first appearance of Archie? Is it Pep Comics 22 or is it
22.
Jackpot number 4?
Pep 22.
Okay. Well, in here,
yeah,
it says Jackpot number 4.
Yes, it does.
The first appearance. So I was actually discussing that on my show on Sunday. It was like what I do every week on my show. One of the things I do with Shelley is I will just pick something out of the 76 price guide and say, what was it worth then? What's it worth now? And
that's so much fun.
Yeah, it's painful sometimes.
I'd say RT Bear's priceless.
We did.
Well, thank you, Nile.
Oh, is that seriously the real one, or
No.
is that a reprint?
This is the facsimile edition we did for the 50th anniversary.
Okay.
Now,
remember Atlas Comics? Look at that.
Yeah, remember that?
What's really cool about
they out of Connecticut? Atlas?
What I think was really cool about this? No, Atlas was
Probably
Marvel.
out of Connecticut,
Between being timely and being Marvel, they were Atlas.
Right.
There was a separate publishing company too that was called Atlas.
Atlas Seaboard.
Yeah,
absolutely. And they're a big feature in the Lost Universe. This thing, what's cool about this cover,
thank you. Finally,
I know. I'm starting to get all your age jokes now. Oh
This-
man.
This right here,
Yes.
this cover is actually because you couldn't just photostat everything at the time. Bob Overstreet drew these logos.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Yikes. That's the.
I got number 5. I went back and got number 5, the Kubert Tarzan cover, but that's the oldest one I've got. The first 4 I don't have.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Jeff and Aaron, how much is Action Comics number 1 in the first edition, and how much is it in the 1976 edition?
Not $300 in number 1.
How about yours, Aaron?
I want to say it. I'm going to say 1,200. But you want Action Comics or Superman number 1?
Action
Comics.
Action's definitely the pricier of the two.
All right, hang on a second here. Ooh, All American Comics. It's really disgusting how cheap these books were and how expensive they are now. And you're like, if only I had known. Of course, I was 12 in 76, so it's not like I had a bunch of money. But I'm sorry, it was $4,200 in what they called mint condition back then.
Yeah,
it was $4,200, and now it's like if you can get that 9.0 copy, went for what, $4 million?
Yeah,
we're at a point where, and of course the last 13 months has been crazy. In the last 13 months, there's been 8 books sell for over $1 million. $1 million or over.
Insane.
And that's that equals the number that it's sold of all time for $1 million or over previously.
Yeah, I just want to share a kid story of getting your Overstreet price guide. I was probably about the same age. It's probably 76. I might have actually had that price guide, Aaron. And so it was the only time I ever got one. And I'll tell you, when you give a 12 or 13-year-old a price guide and they can go through their collection and price it out, that's the first time I ever had the sense that I was like I had a portfolio, right? Like it's almost like your stock. Yeah. Like you're looking up and then you're adding all the figures together. It's like, you know what? I have like $1,500 worth of comic books here.
Yeah, I was the same way. I loved it. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
And you know, my first one was number 8. And but I remember seeing that number 6. The 6 was the first one I saw. And then very short while later, I saw number 5, both of them at IDE's Entertainment in Pittsburgh, where PNC Park now stands at 11 Federal Street.
Well, 7 was Carl Barks, wasn't it? The
Porky Pig, cover, because he couldn't draw Disney at the time.
And then what was 8? I can't remember.
8, Bill Ward.
Oh, Torchy. That's right. Yeah, Torchy, right? Or what? Not Torchy,
but
all the
female heroes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then 9, you had Wally Wood. 10, you had Schomburg.
Yeah. That was a great one. Yeah.
There's so many great, and see, every year to me, that's what I'm trying. That's my benchmark. Mm-hmm. Every year. And even the first art cover, number 4, was Don Newton. It was right before he became professional. He was an art teacher, like a high school art teacher. But he wasn't working for DC or anybody yet.
Wow.
But so, I've got that. And then sometime after Vampire PA, Al Capone, we'll do The World at War.
Nice.
Wow.
And
you got a hell of a year lined up.
Yeah, and I've got lots of other stuff too, but we'll just stick with the first half of the year.
Oh, excellent. Nice.
So,
Aaron, what do you got? What are you doing for 2022?
Well, I of course will be finishing up Wraith of God, which will ship in the spring and late April, early May-ish. And then I'm going to launch the next project I've got, which is going to be a connected universe anthology. And so it's going to be like a 68-page giant that has a Wraith of God story in it. So I'll have the next Wraith of God story. It has the next Garbage Man story in it.
Oh, cool.
And there's a super team that makes its first appearance in the Garbage Man trade paperback, which is out right now through Dark Horse, called The Night Club. And so there'll be a story with those characters all leading up to the third wave, which will be the third book I put out, probably not in 2022, but I probably will get it launched. And that will kind of tie everything in together and sort of springboard forward with this kind of new Lopresti-verse, if you will. Nice. So
very cool.
That sounds great.
Yeah, so I got plans. Everything's connected, and it all sort of works together. So I'm not doing Wraith of God, then I'm going to do something that's totally different, and then something that's totally different. It's all going to be connected moving forward, and I'll manage the Lopresti verse as best I can as a writer artist and get as much done as I can, to get that stuff out there.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. That's going to be cool.
Thank you.
What do you got going on this year, Blevins?
Well, I'm running for mayor, so that's the biggest thing.
He's not joking.
Running for mayor this year.
He's not joking.
No, I'm not joking.
Between Blevins and you, Nile, I can never tell if you guys are being serious.
Oh yeah, so
we never
I don't know if you know
figures.
this, but I'm a city councilman. I'm a city councilman right now for the city of Jacksonville, and I've uncovered just godly amounts of like theft and embezzlement. Like, it's been insane. So I'm definitely running for mayor this year, and I bought a building today so I could set up a studio next door to my house, which just got delivered and set up today. And I want to start doing a lot more content and helping out. And man, I want to see Pop XP like just explode this year. So yeah, it's
like Aaron's fake guns.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like his fake real guns. Yes.
Hey, now let me go back to JC real quick if I could.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, I know it.
Please.
But just how do you get your book? Make sure that it gets into the price guide as a listing.
Payola.
That's a very good question. The quickest way to get considered for it is to send it to
you.
No. It's send it. The address is in the book, in the market report section, toward the end of the market report section, and also actually in the about this book comic introduction. It's in there too, and send it to the attention of Mark Huseman, who is our creative director.
So if you put a UPC code on there, will that help at all, or do they care about stuff like that?
It I won't say that adds nothing to the consideration, but considering the number of as well-established professionals doing their creator-owned material through crowdfunding without barcodes, I don't think that that's the consideration that it was 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And particularly with when you look at some of the successes that Billy and Ethan and Jimmy and you guys have had, it would be really ignorant of us not to look at that stuff. Now, I will say a lot of people are not sending their stuff in, and we have a limited budget to go buy stuff. So I would say, particularly for the people who are doing crowdfunding, keep the guide in mind for that kind of stuff, because it helps. I believe it helps your staying power to be, seen as in the guide and seen as a established thing like that. It's not just about right now; it's about the future too.
Right. Well, it's also a huge fanboy part of me.
Oh yeah,
my book.
Like literally, when I had my first stuff listed in the guide, and I was already working on it, so I just I don't have anything to do with the pricing. I run the day-to-day operations. I get the covers. I work on the advertising. I work on the articles. I make sure Bob has what he needs, and that we have a steady influx of enthusiastic advisors, whether they be comic collectors, comic dealers, or historians, or all three. But it was really cool to be able to say, no, I have recused myself from pricing my own comic.
Nice.
It'd be more valuable than action number one. Go. How did Jason?
Yeah, I actually go the other direction. Like thinking about the collections of people I don't like and calling them, your collection's going down. It's I keep on coming up with like the everything's $1 price guide. It just
well, the $1.25 now.
Yeah, the dollar store price guide.
Yeah.
Except they went up 25 cents, so it's $1.25 price guide.
So, but that, I just, I'm real excited about this. I'm real excited about this year for everything you guys have going on and for what I've got going on. I got to say, we've talked about this on this show before in a more serious way. I think that this is like one of the most exciting times in the history of our medium.
Agreed.
And because look at it, thanks to the Marvel movies, we're not fighting the battle of social acceptance anymore. That's done.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't mean that it couldn't change in the future for the worse, but right now, you don't have to. Comics people who don't know comics think comics are cool. When did that happen?
Right. No, that's exactly true.
Well,
see, Evil One, $2 super chat. I want my limited to one comic from '96 in these guides.
I will say a limited to one comic seems a little like a long shot, but it's Bob's territory, man, not mine.
I was just going to finish up and say that we also have in our city, we're a dry county, so we can't have alcohol. So I'm working on getting that taken care of this year, and I'm also working with some grant people to get money for us to create a special needs park for people, because we have a lot of parks, but we don't have them set up for kids with special needs.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, where do you live at?
Jacksonville, Arkansas.
Jacksonville, Arkansas. All right. Well,
30,000 people.
Well, I'll mail in my vote to you.
Yeah,
you have to be a resident of Jacksonville to vote.
Yeah, sure you do.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
I think it's
it does with some. It does
clearly, we can already see the problem there.
I'll just drive in on election day. You know, no one will notice.
Yeah,
it's really amazing.
Alcohol and special
Just
needs.
mail in your vote, Aaron.
It's been pretty awesome. It's been a good.
The answer to that, Carolynburg, is yes.
Yes, that's where you send it, Mark Huseman.
Oh, Mark.
And I want to give a quick shout out before we go.
Two different things.
Actually dropped a super chat for Greg in the chat here, Glev Levice, if I'm pronouncing that right. He's got his campaign launching Friday.
Ooh.
So the mailing list is up for Gun Demon Devil's Overture #1. It actually looks pretty cool.
It looks really cool.
It looks pretty neat. What do we got? First launch of the Brain Cage Continuity universe, created in the primordial fire of planet Hell, flesh torn and shredded in boss Garazarog's training pits. Only 3 of 100 survived to be sent to Earth on a mission of destruction. 1 of 3 found joy and became something more than a weapon.
Wow, that's really close to my origin.
So close.
Action-packed first appearance of the superheroes Blitzkrieg and praying in an introduction to World War Hell. There you go.
Looks great.
So everyone sign up. The mailing list is in the chat. Mobsy, thanks for that $5 super chat. Greg, good luck. Email me, like I said, and we'll pop you on one of these episodes to chat about the campaign.
Nice.
Fantastic. This is a great show.
And Blevins Andino, he's special needs. He's over 40. He collects comics and he's lonely. So
yeah, somebody
send your friend
made a comment
request.
about alcohol and special needs. The thing is like, you can't buy alcohol at Walmart, and we have an Air Force base, so people have to go to the outside city. So we're losing all that money from the city to go do that. So we don't have like a big nightlife for our downtown area, which we have some buildings that are empty and stuff. And then the special needs park is just something that's separate. Obviously, they're not collective. They're not together. Intertwined together.
Might make for a really fun park, though.
Yeah.
So what now?
Just saying, it might make for a fun park.
It'd be a really fun park.
It's a very different approach, but
let's see how it goes.
Well, when's the election, Brian?
The election is November.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got.
It's so funny. I get to tell people I was on the same ballot as Kanye and Donald Trump, and they're like, "Don't even believe me." I'm like, "No, really, I was on that same ballot." It's crazy.
It's like you don't want to vote; you want to hang on to it, like and frame it, right?
Absolutely.
It's like you don't want to believe that Art T. Bear's Batman, but you know he's Batman.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it, right? I mean, somebody's going to dress up and save the city.
I mean, Art, when you sent us that picture, you knew that we were going to use it. I don't know why you're playing coy with it.
You know what? I'm gonna completely own it. Like the amount of lives I save nightly dressed like that is I scare all the villains straight.
Oh my gosh!
When they see me running at
Straight
them,
as a U-turn.
like they run scared. I am the knight. I am the knight. That's what I say to them, and they go like, ah.
And the nipples.
You know, ever since the those movies came out, my nephew was quite young at the time. He's 14, and I have been like, "On a cheeseburger, large order of fries, and a large orange drink. Say it with me." And suddenly, now I have a visual to go with it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
This image actually makes me very sad, and I've told the story. I think I told it to Art when I was buying a cowl from the movie, a movie prop, and my sister noticed the nose piece was ripped, and my mom said, "You're not buying it." I was like, "You son of a bitch,
Mom, damn you!
like, you're the worst." And I ended up with those the DC archive books of like Superman and Batman, and now I look at them with disdain.
You're like, where was my mask? Oh, that's terrible.
Oh my god, if I had that, I just would never take it off.
You could have been the knight too.
I
We
could
could
have
have
been
been
the
a
knight.
duo. We could have been the dynamic duo, Nile.
Yes, back to back, fighting crime.
Way to go,
Twin
Mom.
bats.
Bear back to back.
Gentlemen, I gotta
Back
cut
to
out.
back.
All right. Well, hey, it was a great stream. We'll let everyone go.
And,
It's been fun.
and I just want to say, Aaron, I'll have an email. Well, you're on the West Coast, so you'll have an email when you get up in the morning.
Okay. Hey, I also want to I want to have you on my show so we can do a deep dive into this price guide conversation because I could talk all day about this
Dude, that
stuff.
would be solid.
Love to.
Okay.
And Art, when you get a chance, take a look, see what you're, when you can get back to me.
Yeah, I've already have a few ideas
Mrs.
for the
Art.
cover, so
Yeah, we
I'll
got
doodle those up.
special guest over in Art's house. Hey,
Hi, Mrs. Art.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right. Have a good
Hi,
night.
JC.
Alan.
see JC.
They called me Mrs. Art.
It's Mrs. Art.
Yeah, don't let that go to your head, Nile.
It was really cute, Art.
It
It
was.
was so cute.
This is going in my wallet.
I hate you.
It was adorable.
I'm trying to spin that to make it sound like, I'm not hurt by it, but that hurts, man. That really does. Right here.
So are you working? You go to bed? Aaron, what are you guys doing now?
I'm going back to work. I'm gonna start penciling page 36.
Nice.
So,
Sweet.
Crazy.
All
I'm
right,
going to
gentlemen.
gaming.
More commission I owe somebody.
Oh, look at
is that
that.
nice?
Look at
That
that.
storm.
It's
Storm.
beautiful.
It's for
Wow.
what you would call it, charity for
good old what's his face? Yeah.
Spencer Beck. No, it's not done, but it was just pencil.
Nice.
Spencer
Looks
for
great.
the girl from The Exorcist.
What do you got there?
Linda Blair?
Yeah, Linda Blair. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah,
It's washed out, whatever it is.
Charity for her.
I just
for her
love your
charity.
choice of color
That's
with
what he was
inks.
working on last night.
Okay, that's the white
it's a
part
little
of black
off,
and white, but I can't see anything but white.
Art, I think you really should start inking with black ink.
Yeah.
Instead of that white ink.
Is that your dog back there?
Yeah, that's Arrow Inko T-Bear. He's a tyrant. We call him evil incarnate.
You,
Hey, that's what we
you
call
have
my
two China
dog.
symbols, or you just flipped your symbols over? I'm trying to see.
Those are my China types. Yeah.
Nice. Where's
My
your splash? You got an 8-inch, 10-inch splash on that kit?
Yeah, you can see it over there on the side.
Where? His
Behind
splash?
his- yeah.
Oh,
it's
there
behind
it
his- behind his
No,
head.
that's not a splash.
That's a hi hat.
it's
That's
a
your
Bravo.
hat. That's a crash. He's got his ride over here. We've got two Chinas.
There's a splash. Isn't it
Where?
over? I think it's over the ride symbol.
Is it over the ride? Is that what that is right there?
Yeah, I don't think you can see it. It looks
Oh,
like
I see. I think I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
He's got a hat sitting on it.
Is that a Gibraltar rig?
sitting on it.
What
Is
kind of
that a
rack
hat
you got
sitting on
there?
it? Look, Art
No, the
behind
hat-
you. There's
the
a
hat's
hat.
on
Isn't
the
that a
China.
hat sitting on it?
Yeah. I got to put my stuff up there, or the dog will get it.
Yeah, I know that. I know exactly what you're speaking of.
Keep it up high.
Did you drum on stream yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one on Ethan's stream, and I think he hates me now.
Did Ethan not play the piano while you were doing the drums?
I don't think you'd be able to hear his piano playing above the drums. I played with Del Keon was jamming on the guitar, and so I got inspired. I was like, I got to do something.
That
So,
was awesome.
The
Yeah.
Comicsgate band.
yeah, we do. We have a band, and then Billy's
Like a
got
barbershop
band.
quartet or
He did
whatever?
Golden Throat.
I'll play trumpet, man. I played jazz trumpet for like
I played some
14
mean
years.
spoons.
And Nile, we could have a drum off.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's do it.
No.
now is your drum set up?
No, they're in my freaking, what do you call it? Utility closet thing?
Well, I guess
Storage
we know
room?
who wears the pants in Art's family, in Art's
My
house.
My
dog.
lesbian wife? Cheryl?
On that note, hey, Aaron, should all the bros get Peaky Blinders hats like that?
No, that's Aaron's thing, bro.
No, Graham had one. I mean, Andy had one on too the other night.
Yeah, Shelly got me 3 of these for Christmas, so that's all I'm wearing until it gets warm again, and I can release my bald head and not freeze to death.
Actually, Billy, we don't need hats.
That's true.
Neither does Blevins. Blevins wearing like a winter cap right now.
Yeah, Blevins is a big old hair bear.
Jeez.
Yeah, I need to go get it
Now-
cut off tomorrow.
Now,
You gonna get a haircut tomorrow?
Yeah. I've been
Thursday
needing it for a
night
while,
on the
man. I mean,
Bros,
it's like
Whose
it-
channel's Bros on this week?
mine.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
And
what
it's-
is it?
Oh, what do you think it is?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
price guide quiz.
No, it's trivia, man. It's Billy's going to defend his two. What are you? Are you 2-time or 3-time
Time in a
champion?
row. Well,
5 times.
I think I should have been 3 times in a row. The 3 times I was on, but apparently,
No,
I
it's
didn't
all.
get
It's
the
all going to be.
ratio of the motorcycle.
No, it's all holiday themed this week. So
nice.
You know, I don't know how Graham Nolan cheats every show, but somehow he does. Like I can't figure out how he does it.
well, no.
His
what
wife
Graham
holds up
does-
the answers. It reflects
Yeah,
off his
somebody
head
speak
onto
to
his
that.
monitor.
No,
and then he reads them off.
Graham plays dumb. Like, wait a minute, I didn't know that was the rule, and then intimidates me into like giving him more points than I should because I feel bad
Well,
because he
it's
makes me
just
feel
a
like
The
game.
guy
cheating.
created Bane.
Remember, it's just a game, and
That's
I
right.
will use a. I will use a what you call it. I don't think I've used a lifeline.
A lifeline?
But I
No,
will.
you've been you. But the funny thing is, this is what cracks me up: is I can ask you guys anything except comic book stuff because you don't.
I
You got 6 comic creators, and none of you guys know anything about comics.
Fraga does.
Well, and actually, Andy does. That's the one time Andy won is when I had all those comic questions in there. And
Well, you're
but
too busy creating your own comics to know what's going on with other comics.
I
well,
had
no, I'm talking about stuff you read when you were growing up. You know, it's
I
like,
didn't read any comics. Girl.
see, well,
Just keep those.
Billy was like into girls. So gross. Isn't that right, Cheryl?
Is she your lesbian wife?
Well, I know if you
We-
haven't
we
owned
got
comics
married for
things,
the
I know I'll
insurance.
just be like, all right, I'll lose this.
Oh,
one.
the insurance. You know what,
Yeah.
Niall? All your best jokes are like, other people are talking over you, but I can hear you.
I know. I'm just talking to you. That's it.
All right, I'm gonna get going. I put eye drops in and take some allergy pills. This dry
See you
heat.
later, guys.
I get the heat. I get the. I don't know if you have
got the
that. You have
vapors?
humidifiers on your furnace.
Do I have humidifiers on my furnace?
Yeah.
No.
no.
Oh, neither do I. Well, I do, but they.
Do you
they
put like
haven't
bowls of
worked.
water on your radiators?
No,
What are you
it's
doing
a
in that house?
humidifier. It's a big on the big old forced air.
Do you have
unit,
forced
there's
air or do you have
humidifier.
radiator heat? Radiators.
Yeah, well, it does.
What do you have?
He doesn't know.
They were
He doesn't know.
humidifiers that pump water.
He's
and
an
it
artist. He doesn't know.
hasn't worked forever, and it's so dry this heat.
So we're on a humidifier.
I do. I have 2 downstairs, little ones. Plug them in.
Yeah. They
Plug
don't
them in.
do anything though.
Nah, they don't seem to do it. That's why we don't use
You guys are like the Abbott and Costello of comic book.
Art, Aaron, it was awesome to be on with you guys.
Yes, and good luck
Oh.
with the election.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He's
But
gonna-
Aaron-
win big, man.
Yeah, everybody thinks that's so funny, but like I have a character that I play when I get on here. But outside of this, I definitely am very serious about my community. So
Is your
Yeah.
character Goat Boy?
it is. Well, that's my gamer tag. I was a professional gamer for like 12 years.
Now, did you actually make any money doing it?
Absolutely.
Wow, you were good then.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Professional gamer.
Look at Billy. Billy's
Yeah,
I'm a
Magic
professional
Gathering.
Billy's
board
like, can we
gamer.
please go? He's got that desperate
Yeah.
look like, all
He's
right,
got
let's
that
go.
million miles.
All right, go put your
I'll see
eye
you guys
drops
later.
in. Go
I'm
put your eye
trying to
drops
friend
in.
people on Facebook so I can get
Put your mask
either one
on.
in.
You know, with the cucumbers on your eyes.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Hey, love you guys. This was a great show. Hey, Ron, we'll see you Thursday on the Professionals on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
Thanks. All right, everyone have a great night. Art, it was fun, Aaron. It was great. Blevins, as always.
Thank you, guys.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Night, boys. Good night,
have a good night.
Thanks.
Good night. Thanks.
Don't stay up too late working.
Yeah, well, if I never get off this stream, I won't be able to.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.